It's game one of the National League Division Series, the Washington Nationals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kenny Albert, along with Tom Verducci, Harold Reynolds, J.P. Morosi as well. Dodgers won their division for the fourth consecutive season. Nationals in the postseason for the third time in the last 5 years. Tom, what a pitching matchup here in Game 1. Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer.
Oh my goodness, if you're a baseball fan, this is a dream matchup. Over the last 7 years, Kershaw, Scherzer rank 1-2 in wins and strikeouts. But if you're a hitter in this game, it's more like a bad dream, especially when it comes to the Nationals trying to solve the riddle of Clayton Kershaw. He has absolutely dominated them the last 8 starts. He told me he loves pitching in this park so much, it seems like home plate is closer to the mound than it should be. But the task for the Dodger hitters, not much easier against Max Scherzer. Another Cy Young quality season. But look at that last line. He's so aggressive. He does tend to give up home runs. 2 of the most decorated pitchers of our generation, 4 Cy Young awards, 3 no-hitters, but tonight, only 1 can get a W.
And they've been matched up against one another just once back in their rookie season in 2008. Harold, it's game 1, NLDS. So many young stars on both sides.
Well, that's where baseball's at right now. And I think the big thing, we'll see 2 great young stars tonight. The guys in the studio talked about Bryce Harper. We'll get to him in a second. But Corey Seager of the Dodgers, I think this guy's going to be Rookie of the Year. He's going to get some votes for the MVP. Maybe he ends up with that. He's 22 years old. Bryce Harper, he's the old guy in the game. 23. This is his 5th year in the big leagues already. And I think sometimes we forget just how young Bryce Harper is. 2020 season this year. I'm looking for both these guys at big nights, and I think the key to both clubs is how they go, particularly Washington. Harper seems healthy. I talked to him earlier. The thumb feels good. The body's rested. He's ready to go.
Should be a lot of fun. We can't wait to get started. It's game 1 of the best-of-5 National League Division Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the Washington Nationals moments away right here on FS1. NLDS, Nationals, Dodgers. 71 degrees here in our nation's capital. The forecast, guys, playoff baseball. Max Scherzer has won 8 straight decisions. 8-0 over his last 9 starts. Won 20 games during the regular season for the 2nd time in his career. Los Angeles Dodgers, record of 91-71, National League West champs. Chase Utley will lead off, then Corey Seager. Justin Turner bats 3rd. Adrian Gonzalez in the cleanup spot. Then Josh Reddick, John Peterson, bottom of the order. Brandell, Andrew Toles, and Clayton Kershaw. There's the first-year manager, Dave Roberts.
Tom, are you
Chase Utley gets set to step in against Max Scherzer.
Well, he's got 5 pitches, but the key glove side fastball command, that's in on left-handers. Left-leaning, and Kenny, that's not any kind of political commentary. 8 left-handed hitters in the lineup. They hit 86 points higher against Scherzer. They call him the Prowler. You'll see him prowling around the mound from the first inning on.
First pitch, and the National League Division Series is underway as Utley takes a called strike, 0-1. You mentioned, Tom, a left-handed heavy Dodgers batting order. Only Justin Turner is a right-handed hitter. Brandell a switch hitter. 1-1 on Utley.
And that pitch right there is going to be the difference maker for Scherzer. Talking to him yesterday and spending time, we spent some great time with him. He had to come up with a pitch to get left-handed hitters out. He knew he was going to have a lot of lefties, but he learned it back in Detroit. And that little cutter in on the left-hander hand, that one right there, that is going to be the difference maker for him.
And why did he learn it? He told us I could never retire Joe Mauer.
Could never get Joe Mauer out, and he actually had a teammate, Rick Porcello, who won 22 games this year with Boston. That was a fastball, actually, ended up staying in. But the cutter will cut a little bit more on his hands. Maybe we'll see it here.
The 1-2 from Scherzer ripped foul.
I tell you what, how about the comeback year of Chase Utley? It looked like a year ago he was finished.
Not only that, he's changed the dynamic of this team. They've gone from Hollywood to blue collar. That's the work ethic he represents.
Won a World Series back in 2008 with the Phillies. Has the most postseason experience on this Dodgers roster. Utley down on strikes, one away.
Nasty change of pace right there. Looks like he's on, and the prowler's prowling, Tom. And here's the defense playing behind him. I love watching Espinosa at shortstop. One of the best arms you're going to see. Great hands, power across the field. Trey Turner's the guy to watch, though. Just learning center field. Normally a shortstop. He's played about half the season now in center, and he's something really special.
Here's Corey Seager. You talked about him during the open. Harold sends this one to deep center field. It is gone. First career postseason home run for Seager, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning.
I talked about that fastball command to glove side. He tried to get in on Seager, and he missed his spot. One of the best first ball hitters in the league crushed that fastball that got too much of the plate.
You know, I like one thing the Dodgers did last year with Seager is he got that postseason experience at the end of the year. They called him up. He got a chance to play. It was controversial ahead of Jimmy Rollins, but he got to play. So, yeah, first postseason home run, but not first postseason game. Very relaxed, looked great all day. Clearly aggressive on the first swing, as is Turner.
On the 6th pitch of the game, Seager takes Scherzer deep. Scherzer will have 31 home runs during the regular season, tied for the most among National League pitchers.
Yeah, 19 of those off the fastball. You saw Severino set up inside, missed the spot.
And now Turner hit by the pitch.
Right off his hand. Looks like it hit the back side of his hand. We'll have to get a replay to really get a good look at it, but the back side of that hand, it was a breaking ball. You try to hang in there a little bit longer than expecting it to break. It doesn't move the way you expect it to. That's how you end up getting hit. See, that ball didn't turn, and now it's at the, he's got his pinky right at the bottom of the, see where his hands are at the bottom of his bat? It's going to pinch right there. And that's what's the pain, and that's going to hurt for a little bit. But that was a great shot the guy showed on that breaking ball. It was a slider. You could see the spin, and Turner's expecting that ball to continue to move left. It didn't break. It was almost like a backup slider, and that's what happens with a hitter sometimes. You read the spin. He sees the ball really well. He's expecting it to break further, and it doesn't. And it kind of backed up on him, and that's how the ball ends up hitting him.
So after striking out Chase Utley, Scherzer allowing the home run off the bat of Seager, hits Turner with the pitch. Here's Adrian Gonzalez, the 5-time All-Star, just 5 for 26 lifetime against Max Scherzer. You had a look at the Nationals defense. Pedro Severino behind the plate for the injured Wilson Ramos. Scherzer and Severino during the regular season, only one full game together, one start for Severino with Scherzer on the mound. One and one.
Yeah, you like to get those reps if you can. The Ramos injury, Tom, is a big blow to this club. He was not only caught everybody well, he was swinging the bat as good as anybody in baseball.
Really gave their lineup a whole lot better depth with him in there. No question they will miss his bat.
A 1-1 to Gonzalez. And Wilson Ramos received a huge ovation when he was introduced to the crowd just prior to the game.
I don't think I've seen an active player who's injured throughout the first pitch like we did tonight.
Livan Hernandez was scheduled to throw out the first pitch, but due to the weather in Florida, could not make it up to our nation's capital. Former Nationals pitcher. A 1-2 from Scherzer. Just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 11th career postseason start for Max Scherzer, record of 4-3. Starting a game 1 of a series for the 3rd time. Turner takes his lead off first. The 2-2 from Scherzer. Getting into the shift. Gonzalez rounds into a double play to end the inning. But the Dodgers strike first on the 6th pitch of the game. Corey Seager takes Max Scherzer deep. 1-0 Los Angeles. Washington Nationals won the National League East, record of 95-67. Trey Turner will lead off, then Bryce Harper, Jason Worth, Daniel Murphy in the cleanup spot, followed by Anthony Rendon, then Ryan Zimmerman. Bottom of the order, Danny Espinosa, Pedro Severino, and Max Scherzer as Clayton Kershaw delivers. And Trey Turner fouls it off down the right field line. 0-1.
I talked to Trey Turner about facing Kershaw for the first time. He said, I have about 8 warm-up pitches to figure it out. Watch him trying to measure up Kershaw. The difficulty of Kershaw, besides great stuff, is that funky 2-step delivery that he has. And Turner told me, I've got to try to figure it out on the fly.
Turner falls behind 0-2. The National League Rookie of the Month in both August and September.
Now watch him. He told me it's similar to Ubaldo Jimenez. The first time he saw Jimenez, the same kind of issue. Anybody with a leg kick is going to need an adjustment against Kershaw.
The 0-2, Kershaw missing away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And why, Harold? You know this with that leg kick that Kershaw has. It's almost like a kid trying to dip his toe into the Chesapeake, see the temperature of the water. Is it cold? He checks it out, and then he goes. A little bit of a double leg kick.
Turner down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, you're talking about measuring him up, but then you don't see stuff like this. He's got everything. And right here, if he's got that slider working and able to paint that fastball, it could be a long night for Washington.
Kershaw's regular season numbers missed all of July and August due to back issues. Made 5 starts since coming off the DL.
But I like the aggressiveness. You have to go after Kershaw's fastball. And I think you'll see Harper do the same thing.
Bryce Harper has not had success against Clayton Kershaw throughout his career. Just 1 hit in 15 at-bats. It was a home run. He's 0 for his last 9 against Kershaw with 7 strikeouts.
And that area right there, that fastball up and away, is what Kershaw has attacked and what pitchers this year, the last 4 months, have attacked. And he stays there.
That's a good sign right there for Harper, though. He's been pulling off every pitch in or away, I should say, just to foul a ball off the direction he did, hanging there a little bit longer. And sometimes for left-handed hitters, when they face a left-handed pitcher, it forces them to stay in longer. You may not get the result you want right now, but it's going to benefit you as this series continues.
The 0-2 from Kershaw. Bryce Harper batting second in the order. Did it only 4 times during the regular season.
Right there, you see Kershaw add a little side armor there to Harper. That's something he added in his repertoire, hanging around Rich Hill. Went back to he did that in high school a lot. His junior year, threw a lot from the sidearm. Just something else to think about.
Yeah, I think the only thing he has to be careful with that is he has only thrown a fastball out of that low delivery, that lower release point. Career high 10 strikeouts against Clayton Kershaw.
Jason Worth waiting on deck. The 2-2 from Kershaw to Harper.
Tell you what, if I'm Bryce Harper, I'm feeling good about this at bat. I've fouled a couple balls off to the left side. I've watched him come with the drop down to the side. I've seen some breaking balls. As a hitter in a situation against a guy like this who you know is going to be in the game, it's almost like a boxing match. You measure him that first AB. If I get something fantastic, but now I'm building moving forward.
From 0-2 to a full count.
Had a little drop down.
Now you see his velocity actually goes up when he drops down. That one at 97. This is the way he threw until his senior year in high school. The pitching coach, Skip Johnson, worked on his mechanics, made him more conventional. You said, Harold, he went back to that thanks to Rich Hill.
Payoff pitch to Harper, and he knocks the mask off the catcher, Brandal.
This is where you can throw numbers out a lot of times. You know, I know Harper's numbers have not been good, but this may be, obviously a home run's the best result you want, but this is a tremendous at-bat. And I'm saying that because he's seeing everything in his arsenal right now. And you don't know the Clayton Kershaw you're going to get. Remember, this is a guy who's been hurt for a long period of time this season.
The last two National League most valuable players. 8th pitch of the at-bat, and Kershaw wins the battle.
That's good. That was fun.
You knew that was the go-to spot. We talked about it. This is the way it's been for the last 4 months. Fastballs belt high away. Just had trouble catching up to it. Now listen, Kershaw is a handful for any hitter. But until Bryce starts taking those balls the other way, the Dodgers throughout the series will continue to peck away at that area.
Kershaw, the 2014 National League MVP, was Harper last season. Here's Jason Worth, who has had relative success against Clayton Kershaw. When we spoke to Kershaw yesterday, he told us that Worth and Ryan Zimmerman have given him trouble through the years. 10 hits and 35 at-bats for the ex-Dodger against Kershaw with 2 home runs.
Much better off soft than hard against Worth. Great fastball hitter.
Tell you what, it's interesting though. I've not seen Clayton come out and show this many pitches in his arsenal in the first 3 hitters. We've seen the fastball overhand. We've seen it off to the side. We've seen the slow curve. We've seen the slider. You know, we've watched him go up and down. He doesn't usually have to work that hard to get through 3 guys or show that much.
The 2-1, now 2-2.
Staying soft against Jason Worth. Jason is great at grinding out at bats. No hitter in the league sees more pitches, but he's always on the lookout for fastballs.
The 2-2 from Kershaw. He strikes out the side on 17 pitches, including an 8-pitch at bat to retire Bryce Harper. 1-0 Dodgers after 1. Moment with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball, the only place to get it all. Live radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, and much more. Download at bat today. Josh Reddick leading off for the Dodgers here in the top of the 2nd inning against Max Scherzer. Corey Seager with a solo shot in the 1st inning to give the Dodgers the lead. Reddick came over from Oakland on August 1st. Fouls it off to the right side. Had a terrific month of September, led all of baseball with a .400 batting average.
And really struggled when he first got to LA. And he did really start to turn it around. I think it was comfort a lot to do with it. And he's got to be fairly comfortable. He's seen Scherzer before in the American League.
2nd strikeout for Max Scherzer. The 32-year-old right-hander signed with the Nationals as a free agent back in January of 2015. In 2 seasons in Washington, a pair of no-hitters and a 20-strikeout game against his former team. The Tigers earlier this season have led the National League in starts over the last 2 seasons. A 20-game winner and led all of baseball with 284 strikeouts during the regular season as Jock Peterson steps in. How about this, guys? On August 19th, less than 2 months ago, Scherzer had 12 wins on August 19th.
Wow.
Finished with 20.
That's a hot streak.
8-0 over his last 9 starts.
That is a high pop up right there.
Severino. 2 away.
Wow. I like to see the height on that one, Tom. Statcast. If he squares that up, that ball's out of here. That is one of those high sky hogs you would call.
Well, he's a fly ball pitcher. That was certainly had great hang time. That 4-seam fastball that Max throws, it's the one that Seager got him on, but a lot of hitters get underneath that. It's got great late life. Up.
Here's Grandal, who led all major league catchers with 27 home runs during the regular season. Speaking of home runs, Seager in the first inning today in Scherzer's last postseason start 2 Octobers ago against the Orioles with the Tigers. Game 1, ALDS. He allowed a home run in the first inning to the 4th batter of the game, Nelson Cruz. Today was the 2nd batter of the game for the Dodgers, Corey Seager.
Oh, and I bet he can tell you every one of them. It's amazing to me. You guys know when you sit and you talk to all these pitchers, they know every home run they've ever given up, and particularly playoff home runs. Incredible memories.
Nothing in 2 on Grandal.
You know, I thought it was interesting right there. He started his windup and he stopped. And the first thing I'm thinking about, he's got a new catcher in Severino. You talked about it, Kenny, that he's only caught him 1 time. The onus of this game is going to fall on Scherzer. You're going to see a lot of shake-offs and a lot of movement because he's going to decide what pitch he wants to throw. And normally a pitcher's going to do that anyway, but you do have a tendency when you have a catcher that catches you a lot to maybe lean towards his game plan a tad bit, but it's all on Max today.
A 2-2. And the Dodgers are retired in order in the 2nd on 10 pitches. Daniel Murphy will lead off for the Washington Nationals in the bottom of the 2nd when we return. Today's Keys to the Game, sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company.
83 years ago to this date, Washington hosted its last World Series game. Yeah, there's a drought here too, folks, not just in Chicago. The 21st Amendment was back in 1933, and the Dodgers needed at least 21 outs from Clayton Kershaw, and for the Nationals, King Kong bats. King Kong came out, the movie, the original, in 1933. They need to attack Kershaw early. This is not the kind of guy you want to get in 2 strike counts against. His breaking stuff is almost unhittable with 2 strikes. Don't let a decent fastball go by early in the count.
MVP numbers for Daniel Murphy during the regular season. His first season as a National. It's his first start in 3 weeks.
The man can hit. I mean, we all knew that even when he signed here as a free agent from the Mets. He always could hit. But when he was flirting with 400 at the beginning of the year for about 2 months, I think everybody realized this guy can do a lot of special things at the plate. I thought that ball was in right there. The way he gave up on it and how soon he saw this, maybe it's because the catcher was set up away and he had to reach back over to the plate.
Murphy took Kershaw deep twice in the postseason last year as a member of the New York Mets. We mentioned it's his first start since September 17th. For more, down to J.P. Morosi. J.P.
Thank you, Kenny. It was a strained gluteal muscle that has kept Daniel Murphy out for those nearly 3 weeks. He has spent a lot of time here in recent weeks and recent days working with Harvey Sharman, the Nationals Executive Director of Medical Services. Sharman, Kenny, is an import from England. He had the same position with the Leeds United Football Club.
And has been working many, many hours to get Daniel Murphy back into the Nationals lineup. Washington with their first base runner.
Yeah. He goes down and gets a nice pitch here. He fouled off a little drop down the side by Kershaw and then takes this ball back up the middle. The man could just hit. He covers every pitch possible. Right here, this is a nice little breaking ball from Kershaw. He takes it back up the middle. Only thing I'm worried about with JP's report is please don't squeeze the Charmin. When he slides here, he hasn't had to slide on that gluteus maximus yet. We'll see how that works out.
So Murphy on at first. As you said, a hitting machine. Tied the franchise record, 184 hits during the regular season. And no, Harold, do not squeeze the Charmin.
He couldn't resist. I mean, that's perfectly set up right there.
There's Anthony Rendon, and he takes ball one.
You know, Harold, you mentioned that foul ball Murphy had. He hit the slider for the base hit, but I'm telling you, when Kershaw's only throwing a four-seam fastball from that release point, Daniel Murphy is too smart of a hitter. You saw him get the barrel out, wasn't fooled at all.
Leadoff single for Murphy. The 1-0 to Rendon. Bounce foul off to the left side, 1-1.
I think the next two hitters are the keys for the Nationals, Rendon and Zimmerman. Because you're going to know that Kershaw's, you got to strengthen that lineup. You got to stretch the lineup. He's going to be on the first few guys that we saw in the beginning of the game. But Rendon's been hot lately, and Zimmerman hasn't done what he's capable of doing. But I think these two have to step up tonight.
One and two. Rendon not happy with the home plate umpire, Dan Molino.
This is a thing of beauty, folks. You will not see too many Gurf balls with that kind of break on it. Rendon can't believe it because it's so unique.
I think what also is fooling the hitters is Kershaw's kind of missing the spots, but he's still throwing strikes over the plate and making the catcher have to reach. Like that ball started the outside, he had to reach in. The ball to Murphy that I thought was a ball originally, catcher was set up in, he had to reach away, or was set up away and he had to reach into the left-hander. So you get a little bit of deception as a hitter because you catch a glance of the catcher as that ball's going by you as well. And if you feel like if he's reaching, then it's not a strike.
Seager to second, on to first, safe.
You saw Murphy slide right there. He's sliding on the, really on the shin of his right leg, not going to hit the bottom part of his body, and really just going in. So this is not going to be a double play ball. Rendon runs well. Seager charges it, sets up nice, makes the flip, and then he just outruns the ball to the end. But here's a look at Murphy. You know, well documented the soreness, but that was a nice, simple, easy slide. Not going to force yourself out of the game with the slide at second on a force out.
So now one away. Rendon takes his lead off first.
Nice. See, I think that's the equalizer move for a left-handed pitcher. That snap move right there. As a base runner, you're waiting till he gets set, but when they have that snap move, that shortens your lead. You have to honor that quick snap move, and now you're not able to get that extended lead that you would like to get.
He's tough to run on, just a 51% career success rate. So quick to the plate, front foot barely comes off the ground.
And Zimmerman rips a base hit into left field. Rendon to second, 2 on, only 1 out for the Nationals here in the bottom of the second inning.
And that's got to be the approach. Kershaw, ridiculous 70% first pitch strikes. That's a career high. And the Nationals actually swing less than any team in the league, so they've got to get outside of their comfort zone a little bit and be aggressive early. First and second pitches, you see a fastball, don't let it go by.
Well, I said it was a little uncharacteristic. The first inning, he threw 17 pitches, and particularly the 8 pitches to Harper and his at-bat. But what that's also doing is the guys on the bench are getting a chance to see, too. Because you can face Clayton all your career and watch video, but this is a different look because you don't know what he's going to come back with after the injury. And they're making him work.
So with 2 on, 1 out. Here's the switch hitting Danny Espinosa. 24 home runs during the regular season.
But to that point, Tom, I'm with you 100%. You got to be aggressive with him.
Right there. That's a 95 mile in here. Okay, it was a little in. Runners in scoring position. I'm telling you, if you're trying to beat Clayton Kershaw late in the count, you're not going to win.
Espinosa just 2 for 17 lifetime against Kershaw. This will already be, to Harold's point, pitch number 30.
So you see the look from Espinosa. That was the perfect pitch I was talking about earlier. Catcher set up inside, but the ball's out. And so, and when you're tracking the pitch as a hitter, you're going to track this ball, and now you see the catcher reach by the time he goes to reach for the ball. You're saying that ball's outside. See the Gumby shoulders right there? Gumby shoulders, like, oh man, come on. That's the Gumby shoulders, Ken, I'm just telling you.
We've already had a Gumby reference and a don't squeeze the Charmin.
There you go. It's only second inning, third inning.
Still the second.
Yeah, feels third.
Almost the third. Espinosa down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Clayton Kershaw.
Getting there. Second.
Now he loves to go to the breaking stuff with 2 strikes.
Well, Tom,
this is almost unhittable.
Tom, you made a great point. If you're going to try to battle him late in counts, he's got too many weapons in his repertoire to beat him.
Now 2 away. Here's the catcher, Severino. First career postseason at bat. Appeared in 16 games for the Nationals during the regular season. 23 years of age, out of the Dominican Republic. And on the first pitch, Ollie has trouble with it. The throw to first is not in time, and the bases are loaded.
Well, you don't see that very often from Utley. He will kick balls, but generally, because he's playing a little bit further away from the position most second basemen are, this ball's hit at him, and now it's a longer throw than the one that can emergency save you when you kick a ball.
I thought his only out was right there at second base. Severino runs well.
So he got
in parentheses for a catcher.
He got lucky that ball hit his leg, but that's in the outfield.
Love the approach, though. First pitch fastball. The kid jumped on it. Now the RBI machine is up, Kenny.
That's right. He had 4 in his last start. 12 on the season. Scherzer with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 4-1.
This is the advantage of the National League, though. The difference in the 2 leagues. American League, National League, you have a big break, you get it bases loaded, you got 2 outs, and here comes the pitcher.
This is not a gimme, though. Max Scherzer has more RBIs on singles than he's allowed on the mound.
Wow. Ball 2. No career home runs for Scherzer. Oh, and by the way, Kershaw's never allowed a grand slam, in case you were wondering.
I was wondering if they were going to let him swing or not. I mean, with Clayton Kershaw, I'm not thinking he's going to walk him, even though he was down 2-0 in the count. I might have had to let him swing. You're not going to get many pitches to hit.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 2-1 from Kershaw, 2-2.
That 2-0 pitch is the one pitch he knows what he's going to throw, and it's what you're going to be looking for. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he was wild. This is Clayton Kershaw.
The 2-2 from Kershaw. Scherzer got a piece of it.
Good swing. I know he doesn't want to go to 3-2. But I'm curious, will he go to an off-speed pitch to get him out? Right here. If he misses, you know 3-2 is going to be a fastball.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. From Kershaw to Scherzer. Now Kershaw steps off.
I mean, the only thought is, am I going to throw a breaking ball or a changeup?
The 2-2, missing inside, full count.
What a battle.
Yeah.
We knew we were in for a pitcher's duel. Not quite like this. Kershaw versus Scherzer.
Here comes that 3-2 fastball now, no doubt about it.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat. Scherzer gets the bat on it. And the inning comes to an end. What a battle.
No doubt.
Through 2 in Washington. 1-0 Dodgers. Cubs at Wrigley. Then tomorrow, it's Game 2 here in Washington. Dodgers Nationals 4 Eastern on FS1. Giants Cubs 8 Eastern. Game 2 tomorrow on MLB Network, as Andrew Tolles leads off for the Dodgers here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Harold, the next time you go grocery shopping, I know you like to do shopping in your house.
Yeah.
Check out the guy who's stocking the walk-in freezer at the grocery store. And imagine that guy playing in the playoffs next year. That's the story of Andrew Tolles. This time last year, that's what he was doing at a Kroger in suburban Atlanta. Out of baseball last year. I asked him, did you play even amateur ball, softball? He said, nope, just stocking the freezer.
And I was going to say the man can hit, too, and he takes one back up the middle.
And that's why the Dodgers signed him. Andrew Friedman had him in Tampa Bay. The Rays actually had released him last year. That's why he was out of work in terms of baseball. Gabe Kapler, the scouting director, also had worked in Tampa, remembered him and his ability to grind out at bats.
And he has a hit in his first career postseason at bat. Will not make his major league debut until July 9th of this year.
What a story. I love stories like that.
So here's Kershaw moments after the Scherzer 8-pitch at bat with the bases loaded.
Now, a lot of times you would think, okay, Clayton Kershaw might play that butcher boy game. We've seen him do that in the past. But I don't know if he's back to playing that game after the back injury.
Kershaw lays down the bunt. Severino to first. Tolles moves to second on the sacrifice.
I mean, you see, he's not flying down the line like we've seen from Clayton Kershaw. I don't think he's going to do anything fancy. Basic fundamental baseball right there. Move the man up, get back to the mound, and keep your club in the game.
So the Dodgers with a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Utley at the plate, and a visit to the mound from Severino. Utley struck out back in the first inning. His 50th career postseason game.
Still got some thunder in the bat. I mean, shot a lot of balls the opposite way in batting practice, but you come in, he can still take you deep. He had 14 home runs this year. But that's the one thing Chase Utley's always done, come up with big hits.
Well, he's now a dead pull hitter, and that's the way Washington defends him. There's an entire county out in left center field. See the way the outfield is aligned.
I like that. Count.
There's a lot of room out there, but they're playing it for a reason. Doesn't hit the ball out there.
1-0 from Scherzer. In for a strike, now 1-1.
You know, I'm watching Tolles dancing around at second base, and you know, this is a situation. You got Utley, Seager, and Gonzalez. You're probably not going to steal third. You got a left-handed hitter up. Just sit there and let him concentrate on the pitcher. A lot of times, as a left-handed hitter, your sight line is right through there, and you see that guy dancing around. It's too much for you to see to pick up a pitch from the pitcher.
Right, Max does not throw many curveballs, and I'm sure this totally surprised Chase Utley. Backdoor, nope. You see Severino try to pull it back in, well off the plate. Changeup has been the go-to pitch for Max tonight.
Two and two.
And there it is. It's a good one.
Very nice. Now, I don't want to harp on that point, but to you young base runners, I learned this as I got older. That sight line for that left-handed hitter, you're not stealing. Sit still. Keep everything silent and close. You know how many times, Tom, you see a hitter tell the umpire to move or get out of the way? You want that whole sight line clear, so all you're looking at is the pitcher. No distraction.
A 2-2 from Scherzer, and it's ripped into right center. Here's Tolles around third. He will score, and the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead.
Got a ball up that time. Was able to stay right through it. That was a mistake by Scherzer. Move them up. Drive them in. But that ball's hanging up there. Hang them and bang them. Left that too high in the zone, and a great hitter like with the experience of Utley, he's not going to miss it.
26th career postseason RBI for Chase Utley. Here's Seager, who took Scherzer deep back in the first inning.
A good idea to start him off the changeup. Seager loves swinging at the first pitch. Second in the league how often he swings at first pitches. Watch where Ramos is set, or Severino is set up. Inside, leaks over the plate.
You know, the one thing I'm seeing too, Tom, is this is where that affirmation from the catcher comes in. This is where you miss Ramos. You know, we're watching Max tiptoe around. He's got a 95, 97 mile-an-hour fastball tonight. He's moving it in and out. Two changeups there, the hanging ball to Utley that drove up the middle. Just get back to being aggressive. The throw over, stay within your game. And I think Ramos would come out and say, hey, stay within your stuff. You lead the league in strikeouts. You have amazing stuff. But when you leave it on the pitcher sometimes, you start overthinking. And that's where that reinforcement from the catcher has to come in.
One to Seager, missing high. 2 balls, 1 strike. The number 8 hitter Tolles led off with a single up the middle. Kershaw moved him over to second with a sacrifice. Driven home by Chase Utley. On the ground to the right side. Flip to second. safe at first. Here's Seager.
We might be taking a look at this one. Tell you what, that's the arm of Espinosa. I mean, great play by Murphy to get rid of it. He goes to the hand to flip it. It's not even going to be close at first. But if you can get the ball to Espinosa on the turn, there's not many guys in the big leagues that have this kind of an arm. Watch how much ground he makes up with his ball going to first. That is a bazooka.
Seems like he clearly beat it at first base. The Nationals are waiting for their replay guy to say whether the challenge or not. They'll let it stand.
Yeah. Boy, did he make up some ground, though. You got a left-handed hitter on a slow roller, a high flip out of the glove, and he still made it bang, bang. Tremendous arm.
So now 2 away. Here's Justin Turner. Hit by a pitch his first time up. And Turner sends this one to deep left field. Back on the track, Worth. He leaps. It is gone. A 2-run home run off the bat of Justin Turner. The Dodgers have taken a 4-0 lead.
Another hanging breaking ball. Another first pitch off speed pitch.
Yeah, that's a curious pitch to me. Turner is a great curveball hitter. Curveball is probably the 5th pitch for Max Scherzer. He must have been thinking he's got a free get-me-ahead curveball. But look where it is. That's a hit-me curveball, not a get-me-over curveball.
Justin Turner with his first career postseason home run. Both home runs, Seager in the first inning, Turner here in the third, coming on the first pitch of the at-bat from Scherzer.
Tell you what, Dodgers building a nice lead, too, because this is going to be a bullpen game for the Dodgers. I don't see Kershaw. He's already got 40 pitches. I don't see him going very deep in this game. But with the run support is going to help the decision-making.
Hitting over, but the Dodgers score 3 in the third. The big blow, Justin Turner, 3 home runs against the Nationals during the regular season, does it in Game 1 of the NLDS. Trey Turner leads off for the Nationals against Clayton Kershaw. Here in the bottom of the third inning, there's Justin Turner, who had never faced Max Scherzer prior to today. Hit by a pitch in the first inning. 2-run home run in the third after hitting a career-high 27 during the regular season. 4-0 Dodgers.
When Clayton Kershaw comes out, change up first pitch, pulls the string a little bit more on that one. 0-2, 2 off-speed pitches are nasty to the other Turner in the game, Trey.
Trey Turner struck out his first time up, and he strikes out again. 1 away. Well, moments ago, our J.P. Morosi chatted with the Dodgers skipper, Dave Roberts.
Well, Dave, Justin Turner, his grit has meant a lot to this team all year. How about that big shot there?
No, that was a huge hit, and he's a glue guy, and, you know, obviously Scherzer's tough on right-handed pitching, but get hit by a pitch first at bat, come back in there and hit a homer next at bat, and Corey legging out that fielder's choice right there, huge inning.
And Dave, Clayton at 40 pitches here to start this inning. How far can he probably go in this ball game?
You know, he really doesn't have a hard pitch count, but yeah, there was some stress right there, but he's still making good pitches, and they're competing up there. So, you know, it's going to be an inning to anything, but, you know, I trust our guy.
Dave, thanks so much.
All right.
First season as Dodgers manager and a postseason hero for the Red Sox back in 2004, Dave Roberts.
One of the most famous pinch running episodes of all time, right? Stolen base against Mariano.
That may be the most famous duo, because Kevin Millar has become a hero after a walk.
He hasn't bought lunch in that town since.
Bryce Harper struck out back in the first, an 8-pitch at bat. And he rips this one into the right field corner. Extra bases for Harper. He's in with a stand-up double.
Well, he had a good at-bat the first time, 8 pitches, right? I was saying he fouled 2 balls off to the left side. So now you let Clayton Kershaw know, even though he struck out on a pitch away, that he's covering that. The first pitch that came back, he fouled off to the left side. Now he's going to come back in, and he pulls the ball. So if you can take away that outside, now they're going to come back in and give you the pitch that you can handle.
Yeah,
and that's what he did right here.
That's a mistake by Kershaw. You saw where Grandal was set up away. The first pitch, they were going back to that same area. And that's what happens when you miss on Bryce Harper. You miss in, you know, he's lucky that ball's still in the ballpark.
So that ends an 0 for 10 stretch for Bryce Harper against Clayton Kershaw. Here's Jason Worth, struck out his first time up.
Well, what's been impressive with Clayton is he's not sharp. We've talked about how many balls he's missed, the location of the catcher, but he's smart. And he's been able to manipulate hitters and keep them off balance, and that's what pitching's all about.
Now the 1-0 from Kershaw. In for strike one.
Oh, the book on Clayton Kershaw. He's always in attack mode. We said 70% first pitch strikes. Public enemy number one, the great Vince Scully. That's the name he gave the curveball for Kershaw. Only given up 2 extra base hits on that curve all year. And Nationals fans, cover your ears. 104 and 15. That's Kershaw's record when he gets more than 2 runs.
Wow. Pitching with a 4-0 lead in Game 1 of the National League Division Series. Kershaw's postseason record, well documented. He's just 2-6 in 10 career postseason starts, although he did win his last start, Game 4 against the Mets last October. Had lost 5 straight prior to that, 4 to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, we got a chance to see a lot of that, Tom. We were sitting there covering it. I think the difference for me, looking back, was he didn't have that bullpen option. Mattingly didn't have the pen that they have right now to go to.
Reddick. And it will drop in foul territory.
Oh, that was a long run, huh?
Yeah, for me with Clayton, and you know, he pitched a great game against the Mets, as you mentioned, Kenny. Don't forget, that was on short rest facing elimination. Here's the numbers, but when I look back at the games he's lost in the postseason, to me, he's tried to punch his way out of trouble with fastballs. Fastball percentage was elevated in his postseason losses. And talking to Dave Roberts before this game, he has noticed a different Clayton Kershaw since he got back off the DL. Remember, Kershaw thought himself he might not pitch at all again this year after the back injury. Much more relaxed, doesn't feel like he has to carry the load the way he thought in postseasons past.
You had a look at pitching coach Rick Honeycutt.
And there's the numbers. Postseason losses compared to his breakdown this season. He would get in trouble and forget about using the terrific off-speed stuff, the slider and the curveball.
Harper, big lead off second, the 2-2 to Worth. Full count.
Now this is interesting, Harold. This is what Jason Worth wants to do. He wants to grind it out till you get to a fastball count where he can just jump on a fastball. Does Clayton give in? He stayed soft with him throughout this at-bat and give him a fastball.
Well, the interesting thing is, I'm looking at the scores, 4-0, but I'm also looking at Clayton Kershaw working. The workload, it's only a 3rd inning. This is going to end up being in the bullpen.
Yeah. This is a big pitch. He knows it. It's not an obvious pitch. You saw Clayton was doing all the talking right there.
They struck him out on the off-speed pitch last time, right? Got him wailing out in front on the breaking ball. The curveball has been really good. It's about 72 miles an hour. He's getting guys out in front. We saw it with Trey Turner. We watched Worth strike out on it last time. See if he goes with that.
Payoff pitch to Worth. Takes ball 4. First and second for the Nationals with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd.
There's a slider.
So a big opportunity for Daniel Murphy, who took Clayton Kershaw deep twice in last year's NLDS as a member of the New York Mets, Game 1, and then again in Game 4.
And he's already got a hit tonight, so he's feeling pretty good.
I know one thing.
You can't throw a fastball by this guy in the zone. Swung and missed only 10 times all year at fastballs over the plate. Tremendous hand-eye coordination. And another meeting on the mound.
Well, what's interesting about Murphy, and Tom, you talked about where the power came from, the adjustment he made, getting on the plate. You've talked about that before. Maybe we'll get to that a little bit later. But he reminds me of Wade Boggs and his ability to hit line drives and put the ball in play on just things that you talk about, odd numbers that you don't think about, 10 times over the plate, and, you know, that type of stuff, that pop-ups for Boggs. But the power is a different dynamic for this guy now.
By the way, that home run Murphy hit in Game 4 against Kershaw last October, the last home run hit by a left-handed batter against Clayton Kershaw. Did not allow one during the regular season.
Wow.
First and second, one out. Dodgers with a 4-0 lead.
Not sure what to throw. His last 2 at bats here, really not in rhythm with Grandal. Not sure what to throw to Worth and now Murphy.
I don't know if it's not as much not sure what to throw, and I agree with you on that. But I don't think he's trusting his stuff as much either. Both our pitchers tonight, this is matched up as a great pitchers duel, but I don't think either one has got their best stuff where they feel like, I'm just going to blow away anybody at the plate tonight. So they're overthinking. We're seeing a lot more thinking from Max and also Clayton. When they're clicking, there's not much thinking to it. Here it is, hit it.
The 1-1 to Daniel Murphy. Left field, Tolles moving to his right for out number 2. Nationals now 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight as Anthony Rendon steps in.
And guess what? Time for another conference on the mound. It's like a football game, huddle between plays.
Well, with Utley in there now, a lot of times they're discussing signs, but also,
yeah, he's such a veteran guy. He can help out with pitch sequence. What Clayton does is he has 6 different sets of signs with Grandal. They change signs from pitch to pitch. So Grandal really doesn't have to go out there to change signs. He does that with a signal. I think Utley was providing some info here, some intel on the sequencing of Rendon.
Reached out a fielder's choice in the second inning. 0-1.
sometimes as a middle infielder, you go in and just reaffirm to the pitcher, look, if he wants to steal third, let him go. Don't even worry about it. We got 2 outs. We're going to play deep. We're going to knock a ball down in the infield. We have to. But they're not even going near Bryce Harper. Let him run all he wants. So that takes that off of Clayton. Don't even worry about him. Pick up your sign, pick up your glove, throw your pitch. A lot of times pitchers get so spaced into their own zone, you just have to say, look, we got 4 runs on the board.
And here we go. I mean, this is like trying to do the New York Times Sunday crossword puzzle. Kershaw out there all the time. He's thinking about what pitch to throw. And another meeting.
Tom, I know you've talked during the regular season. You feel there should be a limit on the amount of visits from the catcher.
Yeah, and what's interesting, I talked to Grandal about how often he goes out to talk to Clayton. He told me before the game, hardly at all. Only if I see him speeding up. Well, that's certainly not the case tonight. This is more about sequencing the pitches they want to throw.
Guys, I think we got to point out one important fact. Is A.J. Ellis is the guy who caught Kershaw for the last 5, 6 years. More than anybody. Grandal hasn't caught him that much. So you don't see this a lot because A.J. Ellis caught him and he put down a sign. He had confidence and conviction in what was going to be thrown. We're seeing 2 catchers and 2 pitchers tonight that don't work a lot together.
Ellis traded to the Philadelphia Phillies for Carlos Ruiz. Runners go. Second and third for the Nationals.
It's a great steal by Harper and Worth there. But on Kershaw's point, I'm not worried about him. That's what Utley was saying. Let him run. You're still in a situation where if you make the pitch, you get out of the inning. I love the fact they went. A lot of people don't do this in today's game. Dusty Baker is aggressive. They're going to give it to you, take the bag. Now a base hit, we pick up 2 runs. You got to put pressure on him some way or another.
So a double steal against Kershaw, who allowed 1 stolen base the entire regular season. Harper creeping down the line as Rendon takes ball 3. Now 3-1 with Zimmerman on deck. The Nationals loaded the bases in the 2nd inning, could not score. Now 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. And a 3-1 from Kershaw. Fouled off back behind 3rd.
Heavy dosage of sliders. That's the pitch you want to throw Rendon. The problem is he's a guy who rarely chases outside of the zone. Slider typically a pitch designed to be a strike ball. In other words, it starts out a strike, winds up a ball. You see that? It was a strike. It was strike all the way. If you miss with the slider, Rendon typically does not bite.
Payoff pitch from Kershaw. Base hit into left field. Harper scores. Here comes Worth. It's a 4-2 game.
This is a good timeout with Rick Honeycutt. Let's go back and look at this. I found that interesting right there, Tom, in that Harper was creeping down the line for 2 or 3 pitches. And so Justin Turner kind of bit the bait. He started to walk up, and now, instead of playing deeper with 2 outs and not worrying about Harper at all, I think they played around a little bit too much and opened that hole.
Yeah, and I'll go back to the discipline of Anthony Rendon. Kershaw, knowing he can't get the chase swing, so he throws 2 sliders back to back that are in the strike zone the entire time. And as a pitcher, when you think about executing a slider in the zone, that's when you leave it up and make a mistake.
Rendon was hot down the stretch, drove in 23 runs in September. Drives in the first 2 Nationals runs in this series. Here's Zimmerman, singled. Back in the 2nd inning. Kershaw now up to 61 pitches. He has recorded 8 outs. The 1-0. And Zimmerman sends this one into left field for a base hit. Ryan Zimmerman 2 for 2. Rendon to second. Nationals looking for more here in the 3rd inning.
Well, it was important, like I said earlier, about Rendon and Zimmerman to carry the load because they put the heat on him that extends their lineup.
Let's go back to Rendon and that slider. That's in the zone the entire time. And now another slider to Zimmerman. Carbon copy.
Well, I think the theme here, though, guys, we got 2 catchers that haven't caught their pitchers very often, and every ball that's getting hit is off speed. A.J. Ellis called a lot of fastballs for Clayton Kershaw, and Ramos calls a lot of fastballs for Scherzer, and they've both gotten away from the foundation of their games. They throw in the mid-90s.
Espinosa struck out his first time up, 2 for 18 lifetime against Kershaw.
That's a bench that smells a pitcher in trouble.
I love how you said that, Tom, because you can see them. They're seizing the moment. They're sitting on the top of the step. When you're getting beat up, you're sitting back and you're wondering what's happening. When you're after a guy, look at them. They're all like, I want the bat. Let me go to the plate. You don't do that when Clayton Kershaw's on.
The 1-0 to Espinosa. 1-1.
Tell you what, how big was that aggressive double steal? That was huge. And that's what Dusty Baker brings to a club. He understands that part of the game, and he's allowed these guys to do that. That steal, that double steal comes from Davey Lopes, and that comes from the bench. In a situation where you're smelling it, go ahead and take it.
The longtime Dodger.
He's the best first base coach in baseball. He knows every move, every pitcher. He was a phenomenal base stealer and base runner.
25th pitch of the inning, 1-2 on Espinosa.
And the fastball's what saves both these guys. Come back, has blown Espinosa away with heaters.
Kershaw up to 65 pitches. Not yet out of the third inning. Two on, two out. 2 runs in for the Nationals here in the third.
Wow.
Well, the Nationals
Man, no
score
chance
2.
of that.
No tip. There's Rendon. Drives in 2. 4-2 Dodgers through 3. Josh Reddick takes a called strike from Max Scherzer. There's Anthony Rendon. 2-run single in the bottom of the third off Clayton Kershaw. Dodgers with a 4-2 lead as Reddick falls behind. 0-2. Struck out his first time up. Reddick, Peterson, Grandal for the Dodgers here in the fourth. Max Scherzer allowing 2 home runs over the first 3 innings. Corey Seager in the first, Justin Turner in the third, both on the first pitch of their respective at-bats. Reddick grounds out against the shift. One away. Moments ago, JP chatted with the manager of the Washington Nationals, Dusty Baker.
Thank you. Dusty, huge play in that inning, the double steal. What was your thought process on that?
Well, thought process, hey, I tell my guys if he's giving it to you, take it. And, yeah, that was a huge play in inning. And I'm telling you, man, so, you know, we got a ball game now because before they're about to run off on us. And so now Maxie got to hold him, give us a chance. You know, his pitch count is high, Kershaw's, and hopefully we can stay close to him and get in that bullpen pretty soon.
Jock Peterson at the plate. Fouled out his first time up. Dusty Baker, 8 seasons with the Dodgers. Won a World Series title back in 1981 with Los Angeles. His Nationals trail by 2 as Peterson pops out quickly, 2 away.
Well, I thought it was interesting talking to Dusty about all that he learned being a Dodger and the fundamentals and how important that was in all the years that the Dodgers had built this great organization and fundamental baseball and making sure you did things the right way. He learned a lot of that in the Dodger organization. He's really proud of it, too.
Right, but initially, when we asked him about it, he said, Al Campanis gave me the book, How to Play the Dodger Way. I tossed it out.
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
How about that?
Until all of my teammates and coaches said, hey, you better read this thing.
Yeah, how about not reading it?
That, too.
You better read the book as a young player.
But I thought it was so interesting that, you know, having a book. This is how we do it.
The Dodger way.
Yeah, it's almost like that was a lot of forward thinking. Dodgers have always been a forward thinking organization. But to write it down, this is how we do it, this is what we do. The Baltimore Orioles do a lot of that.
I think they have an e-book now.
Yes.
And a lot of that started with Cal Ripken Sr. And Dusty told us that he has carried over so many of those principles that he learned during his 8 years with the Dodgers into his managerial career. He said some of the keys that I always talk about: alleviate mistakes, don't be yourself, and I stress defense as much as offense. And that all goes back to that book that he was given by Al Campanis back in the mid-'70s.
I thought it was funny when he said, well, Davey was there. Davey knows about the book.
2-2 to Grandal. And Dusty's first season with the Dodgers, 1976, that was Walter Alston's last season as manager of the Dodgers. Tommy Lasorda would take over the next year.
And Tommy was the third base coach.
Right.
At that time.
Now, guys, one thing I like about the young catcher Severino behind the plate, and I know Max Scherzer likes it, man, does he set a low target. I used to have those young legs because he actually has been setting his target below the bottom of the zone, reinforcing, keep that ball down.
2-2 from Scherzer. Worth in left. A 1-2-3 fourth inning for Max Scherzer. NLDS Game 1 action continues. Giants and the Cubs at Wrigley tomorrow. Here in Washington, Game 2, Dodgers and Nationals. 4 Eastern FS1, and then Giants Cubs at 8 Eastern on MLB Network, as Pedro Severino leads off for the Nationals. Bottom of the fourth inning. Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers with a 4-2 lead. Nationals loaded the bases in the second, could not score. Then scored 2 runs on 3 hits off Kershaw in the third.
Wow. It's only the fourth. Seems like it's about the seventh. There's been a lot of action.
That's what Clayton Kershaw just said. He's had to work real hard.
Harold now doing an excellent job keeping track of the innings.
There you go. All over that. Now, I know I was talking about A.J. Ellis and Kershaw's relationship with him, personal catcher. Grandal has caught him quite a bit this season, but that's still not the same as being in sync with somebody. And that's my point. I know a lot of people are up in arms and getting excited about the fact that they've had more conversations today and checkoffs like that right there than you ever saw with somebody you're used to working to. That's the point, is that he was always in sync with A.J. Ellis.
See Clayton, you can see how upset he is with himself. That's another slider that's just poorly executed. Yeah, he's a perfectionist, but he knows right now he is fighting his command big time.
The 3-1, and Severino sends this one to deep left field, up against the wall. Extra bases for Pedro Severino in his first postseason game. A stand-up double leading off the bottom of the fourth inning.
Boy, it's hard to remember how Clayton Kershaw has missed his spot by this much. 2 pitches ago, the slider poorly executed. Now he's going to come with the fastball. It's supposed to be down and in. I have not seen the catcher move his glove in a Clayton Kershaw game as much as I have in this game today.
Well, I think the big thing, Tom, we've looked at, is he healthy? Can he pitch in a game? Yes, but he hasn't had much time to get back in shape as far as pitching, executing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying,
he's
right?
been on point at the end of the season. His last 2 starts was terrific. No governors on him today.
Whoa, it's a great pitch. If you know a guy's bunting, bust him hard in and up, and that's a tough pitch to get down on the ground.
Think back to that 8-pitch at bat for Scherzer back in the second inning with the bases loaded.
Watch your lips right here.
Popping out to end the inning, and now looking to move the runner Severino over.
Well, what he's trying to do, Adrian Gonzalez is crashing from first base. So he's trying to force that bunt to third regardless, and that's why the up and in pitch was such a great pitch. And that's just painted. But if he bunts that ball, that's why Scherzer pulls it back. You're going to bunt with 2 strikes. So right there, the execution with Kershaw, that ball on the outside half, if he bunts that, Adrian Gonzalez is going to field it. That's why he pulled it back. You tip your cap on that pitch.
And Severino has been extremely aggressive on the secondary lead. Grandal should keep an eye on him if Scherzer misses the pitch.
You see what I'm saying, though? He knows he's bunting with 2 strikes. So, yeah, you found yourself 0-2, but if he bunted that ball, it would have been an out.
Max Scherzer led the National League during the regular season with 13 sacrifice bunts.
He needs to throw that fastball up and in again. Bust him up, make him pop it up, or foul it off.
A 1-2, swinging away, bounces away from Utley. He recovers, throws out Scherzer. Severino moves to third, so Scherzer does his job. Now 1 away, bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, what happened on that ball is Chase is going to third base with it. He knows immediately that's a short hop. He's looking, and he just took his eye off it to see where Severino's at. He's got to freeze to make sure the ball's not in the air. Watch, he has to freeze. Chase is getting ready to catch it, and he looked to see if he was running or not. That's why he missed the ball. But he clearly, I think if he fields that clean, I think he's going to third.
Remember, Utley committed an error back in the second inning. Had trouble with that one. So Severino now 90 feet away, 1 out. Here's Trey Turner, who has struck out twice and takes strike 1 from Kershaw.
And to me, I think Dave Roberts smartly playing the infield back in the middle. You're up 2. Concede the run to make sure you keep the big inning out of order.
Turner's got to put the ball in play here. Kershaw's in his head. He's been throwing nothing but breaking balls.
He's got to put it in play in the middle of the field. Keep it off the corners. Stay at the middle.
In the dirt, blocked by Grandal. To your point, Harold, Grandal started just under 50% of Kershaw's starts this season. 10 out of 21, so not that much time together.
And they were at the latter part of the season with him, too, so. But, I mean, takes a little while to get in sync. A lot of shaking off, a lot of changing pitches.
Ball 2.
And you see Clayton's staying soft, and Trey Turner's not biting. Clayton's trying to get the roll over to ground ball at third to keep the run there. Turner doing a nice job. He's got to play up the middle of the field to get the run in.
Bryce Harper looming on deck. Severino takes his lead off third. The 2-1 to Turner, and he shoots it to deep center field. Peterson makes the catch. Severino comes home easily. It's a 1-run game. Nationals pull to it in 4-3.
Great execution all the way around. From Scherzer's at bat after the double to get him over. And then Turner, Tom, like you said, he laid off some tough pitches that Kershaw wanted him to roll over and stayed right up the middle, stayed with his game plan, drove the run in. It's a big run.
Here's Bryce Harper, struck out at 8-pitch at bat in the first inning, doubled, came around to score in the third. 80th pitch of the game from Kershaw, ball 1.
Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing some action out in that Dodger pen. I thought we might have seen it earlier in this inning. I know they'd love to get him through this. But you can't let it get away from you. Now you got 2 outs.
Clayton Kershaw, coming into Game 1 of the NLDS, had won his last 8 starts against the Washington Nationals. Did not allow an earned run in 4 of those 8 games. He's given up 3 over the last 2 innings. Pitch cast powered by MLB Advanced Media. The 1-1 to Harper. Ball 2, now 2-1.
Harper's looking to launch right here. You can tell by his first movements, everything is, if he gets a ball in the inside half, we're going to see him let it fly.
24 home runs during the regular season. Nationals set a franchise record with 203. Harper pops this one up to the right side. And the inning is over, but the Nationals score a run. Severino leadoff double. Sacrifice fly by Turner. Harper just missed. Game 1, National League Division Series. Dodgers took a 4-0 lead. It's now 4-3 Los Angeles, top of the 5th inning. Andrew Tolles single leading off the 3rd. Came around to score the 2nd Dodgers run. Here's Clayton Kershaw moments ago chatting with pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. Kershaw has come out into the on-deck circle. The 0-2 from Scherzer. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's an interesting discussion because typically there's no issue with Kershaw at 83 pitches. But since he's been off the deal with that back injury, missing 10 weeks of the season, his pitch high has been 91. So to me, you're talking about 1 more inning out of Clayton Kershaw.
Now Tolles sends this one into right field, and the catch is made by Bryce Harper for out number 1. So now it's Kershaw to the plate with 1 out, top of the 5th, and as you mentioned, he's thrown over 80 pitches.
And he's worked hard. He's pitched a lot of times out of the stretch today. I give him this at bat because he's Clayton Kershaw. I will sign up for trading it. It's a non-high leverage at bat here. You know, runner in scoring position maybe a little bit differently, but it's Clayton Kershaw. I trust him one more time, and he's going through the middle of the order to get me through the next inning.
That, and I think you got to look at it's a long series. You know, I mean, it may only be 3 games, it may be 4 or 5. You don't want to get in that pin right now this early. If I can still get another 20 pitches out of Kershaw and maybe still have the lead when he's done, I got to take those chances.
Yeah, one thing the Dodgers are not afraid of, going to the bullpen. Dave Roberts made more pitching changes than any manager in history. This is the way they work. With the off days built into the postseason schedule, they don't mind picking up 4 or 5 innings.
The number was 606 pitching changes during the regular season. An all-time record.
I almost think with Kershaw, though, it's like getting a new car. You're not sure what the gas range is in a full tank. In the old days, you knew exactly how long you could go with Kershaw. Coming off the DL, you know, not having thrown more than 91 pitches, working so hard tonight, I'm not sure where the gas gauge reads right now with him.
The 2-2 from Scherzer, full count.
Well, it's interesting because it brings us to the point of our conversation we had with Max Scherzer yesterday about being able to be trusted and telling the manager, that's it, I'm done, or yeah, I got a little bit more. And I would think that they'd have that same thing with Clayton. So you don't, here's how you know his back isn't 100%. You don't see Clayton Kershaw sitting there taking a fastball for strike 3 just when he has an opportunity to swing. This is him and Madison Bumgarner going as hard as they can swing and see who can hit it the furthest. And that's, I think that's just, hey, I'm not going to push that, you know.
So Kershaw back in the Dodgers dugout. Here's Utley. Singled in a run back in the 3rd inning. Scherzer and Kershaw, both drafted in the 1st round back in 2006, facing each other for only the 2nd time. They matched up in September of 2008 in a game between the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. It was Scherzer's 4th career start and Kershaw's 18th. So it has been over 8 years since they pitched against one another.
How about that draft? 2007, Kershaw went number 7. Tim Lincecum went number 10. Scherzer went number 11. Combined, 6 Cy Young awards.
Pretty good.
Luke Hochevar, 1st overall to Kansas City.
These guys have been great.
Cy versus Cy.
How about this oddity? Adam Dunn has hit the most home runs against both Kershaw and Scherzer. 4 against each. Now the 1-2 to Utley, and he strikes out to end the inning. A 1-2-3-5th for Scherzer. He's retired 7 straight since allowing the Justin Turner home run. Runs, 6 hits for the Nationals. Bottom of the 5th inning at Washington as Jason Worth leads off against Clayton Kershaw. Takes a called strike. Worth struck out in the 1st inning, walked and scored in the 3rd.
Nice. You know, I've watched with Scherzer and also with Clayton now. They've gotten aggressive with the fastball, and it sets up your off-speed pitch. It's almost like they had the scouting reports, this is going to be how I get a guy out, and they both came out throwing their off-speed pitches like, this is my out pitch, but it was on pitch 1 or pitch 2.
1-2 on Worth with Daniel Murphy waiting on deck, then Rendon. Kershaw struck out the side in the 1st. Nationals loaded the bases but could not score in the 2nd. Washington with 3 runs over the last 2 innings, and now Worth leads off the bottom of the 5th with a base hit down the line and left. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin. Wow, incredible. Price struggled in the postseason last year with the Toronto Blue Jays and in danger of dropping to 0-8 as a starter in the postseason. Here's Daniel Murphy. He certainly did not struggle in the postseason last year. Set a major league record, homering in 6 consecutive games. Named the most valuable player of the National League Championship Series.
I got to tell you, I'm impressed with his at-bats today. For a guy who's had 3 at-bats in the last couple of weeks, I get the feeling you can wake this guy up from a nap in the middle of the winter. Hey, hit ropes.
7 seasons with the New York Mets. One for 2 against Kershaw tonight. Worth takes his lead off first, and Murphy pops it up left side of the infield. Catch is made by the shortstop Seager for out number 1. Good.
And what's up with Clayton today? Well, I talked about how much he's missed the target. Look at the catcher's target in, ball winds up away, the ball winds up in. Slider left up when the target was down. Another target down. Another slider left up. And Severino fastball in. That's a fastball up and away. Usually Clayton Kershaw has very good misses. Today he's had bad misses, missing the glove by a lot, and many times over the plate.
Yeah, I just think he's not sharp. I don't think it's a health issue. He looks healthy, but still got the herky-jerky. It looks like Clayton Kershaw. And I know this is a 6th start after coming back, but you know, even when a pitcher comes out of the season, there are ups and downs when they start out of spring training. I don't think he's just clicking on all cylinders. And I like the fastball, 94. He's been 93, 94, hit as high as 96, and he's got the breaking ball, the slider, and he's hanging pitches. That's the thing. He's not sharp. It's the only word I can think of.
Pitch number 91 upcoming, matching his high since returning from the disabled list. His season high prior to landing on the DL was 116.
Well, let's remember, too, he sets the bar so high. We're talking about a pitcher this year with more wins than walks. He still has a lead. He somehow is battling through all these innings with runners on base, holding the game together.
12 wins, 11 walks during the regular season in 21 starts.
See, one thing they read on Kershaw, when he throws to first base, shoulders move towards the base. When he goes home, typically looks at home, and that front shoulder is the key. That starts to slide first before the feet. Front shoulder goes home.
See if you can guess it at home.
Rendon drove in the first 2 Nationals runs back in the 3rd inning. Leadoff single for Worth. Murphy popped out. And now the 2-1 to Rendon. Off the glove of a diving Turner into left field for a base hit. Second hit of the game for Rendon. Nationals with 2 on, 1 out here in the 5th.
Game of inches. See Turner creeping in just a little bit. Wants to be a double play depth, and they just can't quite get it. Now you're starting to see some movement in the Dodger bullpen. Taking them a little while.
Joe Blanton.
Well, to me, guys, the radar gun lies when it comes to trying to determine when a pitcher is fatigued. To me, the better indicator is the catcher's glove. And Grandal's glove has had to move too much today from target to actual location. And that Nationals dugout getting top step again, knowing they smell they have a pitcher in trouble.
Zimmerman 2 for 2 today. In our conversation with Kershaw yesterday, he brought up Zimmerman as one of the Nationals who have given him trouble through the years.
That's a step off by Kershaw because they moved the defense on him. So you want to get your defense a chance to set up. I don't think it was as much as miscommunication, but it was Adrian Gonzalez at the last second ran way. Look how far he is from first base. That last shot we had was amazing. He is so far off the base, but they're playing Zimmerman to pull. I mean, he's almost playing like a second baseman and still walking towards the middle of the diamond. Look at this.
Zimmerman fouls it off, 0-1.
But Tom, I thought it was interesting where you said that Kershaw uses so many combinations of signs. And that has to be over time working with the guy to figure all that out, because it's not just one indicator you're working with. So when you have a runner at second base, you got to be on point.
Yeah, it reminds me of Roger Clemens, another guy who wouldn't change signs just once in a while. In between pitches, they would switch up signs, as Kershaw also does.
Blocked by Grandal.
I played with a guy, Mark Langston, and he used what we called scoreboard signs. 0-0, 1-1, 2-2 was the first pitch. Anything 1-2, 2-1 like that was second pitch. 0-1, 0-2, third pitch. You know, so third sign,
first sign, second sign, third sign.
Yeah, so those are the indicators for him throughout his called scoreboard. We went by the pitch count.
The 1-1. Reddick back, just shy of the track, makes the catch. Worth tags. He is in at third, and the Nationals have runners on the corners with 2 outs.
That was interesting. He dropped down to a right-hander right there.
Well, Clayton Kershaw got off to a great start this season. 11-1, 9-10 strikeout games. In the month of May, only 2 walks, 65 strikeouts. But he missed all of July, all of August with that back injury. Came back on September 9th. Over his last 3 starts, allowed only 2 earned runs. And now in the postseason, with a career postseason record of 2-6, has allowed 3 runs, 8 hits over the first 4 2/3. Runners on first and third, 2 outs for Espinosa, who has struck out twice tonight.
This is what makes him great, though. It's easy to win when you got all your stuff working for you. When you don't have it, that's when you see the character, the heart, the determination. And this guy's gutting through. And if you'd have said with the stuff he's had tonight, he can walk out of here with the lead after the 5th inning, I think the Dodgers would have taken that all day long. They're 1 out away from getting that.
6-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young Award winner.
Well, Danny got a pitch to hit right there. Missed badly with first pitch, but this one, well-located fastball.
Well, he's gone right after him all night. Just here's a fastball, hit it.
Runners on the corners, 2 outs. This will be pitch number 99 from Kershaw tonight.
It's a good move right there because Worth is creeping down the line. Espinosa's been dominated by Kershaw tonight. They may try to steal a run. You don't know with the double steal. So that's just another look to maybe freeze the runners, keep them a little bit closer, and get a different look to reset your defense.
We saw the double steal back in the 3rd inning, which helped lead to a pair of Washington Nationals runs. A 1-1. Now 2-1 on Espinosa.
That gas gauge I talked about, the warning light is officially on right now. Clayton Kershaw, one of the hardest working players in all of baseball. Now is the time, 100th pitch coming up. All that work in the weight room, all that running. Try to draw from that to execute one last pitch.
Espinosa steps out.
You see how focused he was? He didn't even know what was going on. He's so locked in on executing this pitch that Espinosa had stepped out. Gonzalez called time at first, and he was still getting ready to deliver his pitch.
Espinosa trying to get something out of his right eye. Now steps back in. Pitch number 100 from Kershaw. Now 2-2.
I don't think he's shown him an off-speed pitch all night. He's just said, I can get the ball by you. It's a matter of location now. I think if he goes up with the fastball, he throws it by him. He threw one breaker ball to strike him out, a ball he overswung on because he'd set him up with fastballs prior.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning. A 2-2 from Kershaw, and Espinosa strikes out for the 3rd time tonight to end the inning as the Nationals strand 2. So Kershaw gets out of the fifth with a 4-3 lead. Corey Seager leading off for the Dodgers here in the top of the sixth inning against Max Scherzer. A solo home run on the first pitch he saw back in the first inning. And now Seager leading off the sixth, flies out to Turner for out number one.
Tell you, we talked a lot about Kershaw, but Scherzer settling down a little nicely too. And after the Dusty Baker interview, remember what he said? You know, we got the double steal. They scored the 2 runs. And if we can get Max to shut him down, he's done a nice job. 71 pitches. I think the key, looking back, is he went back to the fastball. And he started working off that fastball. His changeup's coming to effect now. Because if you have a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, you have to honor that as a hitter. Like that right there.
I just love the face right there, Clayton Kershaw. Did he pitch 5 innings or did he run a marathon? Spent. Never gives in.
Max Scherzer has retired 8 straight since the Justin Turner home run back in the 3rd inning. A 2-run shot, which gave the Dodgers a 4-0 lead. The 1-1 to Turner. Ball 2.
Well, Kenny, you were talking about those breaking balls. That was the first one he's thrown him since. But the first one, remember this one, it hit him. It didn't break back over the plate. And Justin's looking out over for that breaking pitch to break over. Then he gets the first pitch and he hits it out of the ballpark. The ball breaks to where he thought it would go to. It's that little small fraction of time as a hitter where you're able to see that ball and you know where you're looking, that spot you're looking for that ball to get to.
Now the 3-1 from Scherzer, full count.
Well, he's one of the top 5 hitters against curveballs in the National League. It's because of the way he hits. Gets himself loaded and gets that very high leg kick, but stays balanced. A guy who gets ready early and is able to keep his hands back and not commit. Curveball is designed to get a hitter to commit early. Turner stays back.
Payoff pitch from Scherzer. Up the middle, base hit center field. Second hit for Turner. 1-out base runner for the Dodgers. Well, T-Mobile One lets baseball fans dig into the game with unlimited LTE data on their smartphones. Show us how you're a baseball fan by using hashtag #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and the chance to win tickets to every 2017 World Series game. So Justin Turner ends the streak. Scherzer has retired 8 straight. He's on at first, and here's Adrian Gonzalez, who is 0 for 2 tonight.
Did a nice job of getting Adrian to roll over a ball, hitting that double play. But, man, that was a bullet that Turner hit back up the middle. That's Chuck and Duck right there. That was a missile.
Oh, 1 to Gonzalez, 0-2. Dodgers finished in first place in the National League West for the 4th consecutive season. Lost in the division series to the Mets last year, to the Cardinals in 2014. It was a challenging season for Los Angeles. 28 players on the disabled list. They used 15 starting pitchers. So here they are, the only team in the postseason each of the last 4 years. And they lead Game 1 4-3.
Nice. Take what they give you right there. Ball away, just tried to hang in there. Adrian Gonzalez, for being a power hitter, Tom, he's almost a throwback. A rarity that can really cover the plate, and he just fights this ball off.
Well, he's 2 hitters. With nobody on base, He's a power hitter, pull hitter. You put runners on base, he's an average hitter. Average goes up with runners on base because he cuts down the swing, uses more of the field.
Fights another one off.
How did he fight that one off? With a step ladder, maybe. Designed to be up. It's higher than up, and he still gets wood on it.
Yeah, he's trying to waste one right there. He still couldn't waste it. That's a throw to first because he's not sure what he wanted to throw him. After a guy fouls off a ball out into the other batter's box and then one above his head, you have to question, do I want to throw him another fastball?
See how flat the bat is? Just gets a piece of it, and his butt is in the dugout, but the bat is on the ball. Staying alive.
But this is a guy looking fastball and adjust, because if he's sitting on an off-speed pitch, he's not hitting those balls, especially the second one that was above his head.
Well, he had him set up for the change, and Adrian wasn't biting on that. I'll be honest with you, during this approach here with Gonzalez, I'm not sure that I would shift as much as the Nationals are shifting right now, with Espinosa tight to second base.
Yeah, it's an interesting cone that they have out on the field. There's certain pockets that are there, but they've kind of shifted a normal infield, not all the way tilted to the right, but just up the middle, shade in the middle.
The 1-2 to Gonzalez, and it gets away from Severino, allowing Turner to advance.
Yeah, sometimes a guy has such a good at bat. He took him out of his game by fouling those high fastballs off. It made him change. He came back with a changeup and a breaking ball there. I think he would have continued to stay hard fastball had he not fouled off that really high one. When a guy catches up to a high fastball like that, that's 94, 95, that makes you second guess your fastball.
Yeah, I think he's working without his best slider today. To me, his best secondary pitch has been the changeup. Typically, it's the slider. That's a pitch batters hit only 144 against, but he hasn't been able to locate it, as you saw with that last pitch.
Turner at second following the wild pitch. And now the 2-2 from Scherzer. On the ground to the right side. Turner moves to third as Gonzalez grounds out 2 away.
See Dusty and pitching coach Mike Maddox. The other thing that happens, Tom, when that high fastball, Adrian Gonzalez made the coaches realize that fastball's not getting by people right now. And that's another telltale sign. Hitters will tell you as well when a pitcher's starting to fatigue and maybe not have his best stuff. The radar gun doesn't always tell you that.
Well, Zipchinski's up in the bullpen, but Dusty and I would rather have Scherzer on Reddick than Zipchinski on Puig.
Blake Treinen, the right-hander. Zipchinski, the left-hander. Reddick 0 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, but you may still get Puig because Peterson's up next if you go to the left-hander. But he doesn't look like he's ready to hit, so maybe you're not getting Puig at all right now. It's the 6th.
The 2-0 from Scherzer. Swing and a miss by Reddick, 2-1.
Beauty. This is going to be one of his better games as far as the changeup goes. You're in trouble, fastball count, and you can go to a changeup that good. That's a weapon.
Runner on third, 2 outs. Ball 3, 3-1. Turner a 1-out single, moves to second on a wild pitch, and then to third on the Gonzalez ground out. The 3-1 to Reddick. Full count.
Boy, the changeup 2-0 fooled him. He's looking changeup right there. Because he threw a fastball groove 3-1. He got in his head on the 2-0 changeup, Tom. It was not only a good one, but he was so far out in front because he was dead set on the heater. And then to take the 3-1 fastball, that's frustrating as a hitter. And he barely fouled that off. I don't know where Josh is at right now in being able to pick up a pitch. The changeup's a good pitch right here to me.
Payoff pitch from Scherzer. Ground ball to the second baseman, Murphy. And that will do it for the Dodgers in the 6th. Dodgers pen led the team with a career-high 75 appearances during the regular season. Facing Severino, who doubled, came around to score his last time up back in the 4th inning. Our AT&T call to the bullpen. So the Dodgers make the call to the AT&T pen, and it's Joe Blanton on in relief of Clayton Kershaw, who allowed 3 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings.
Spin master, I call him, Harold. Loves to throw curveballs first pitches. Did that to his first batter. Slider and curveball. It's incredible spin rate, incredible movement on it. Rescued his career.
A career which includes a World Series championship with the Phillies back in 2008. He won Game 4 of that World Series and also became the first pitcher to hit a home run in a World Series game since 1974. Nobody out in the on-deck circle. Scherzer due up next.
Well, I think if he'd have got on right here, you'd have seen Scherzer go up and bunt and move the runner up. But since he doesn't, then you're going to see Stephen Drew or somebody. Nope. Defoe is going to be pinch hitting. You want to save Drew for later. Defoe.
So Scherzer goes 6. Kershaw goes 5. And it is Defoe to pinch hit with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and a visit to the mound from pitching coach Rick Honeycutt.
Well, this is clearly letting you know who Defoe is, because Defoe hasn't had a whole lot of at-bats.
I guess the pitcher's meeting was too long ago. You have to remind the pitcher. This is how we pitch him.
Well, we saw Syndergaard and Bumgarner match zeros on Wednesday night in the National League wildcard game, and look forward to Kershaw and Scherzer here tonight.
Well,
who would have expected 4-3?
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. It's easy to appreciate great pitchers when they have great stuff. There's a whole nother level of appreciation when they pitch the way they did. Kershaw getting Espinosa to end his final out of the night, and Scherzer getting Reddick with runners on base to end his night, gutting it out.
So here's Defoe, the switch hitter. 58 at-bats during the regular season for the Nationals.
What makes a pitcher great is always not just great stuff, but the art of pitching.
Well, the beauty of both those guys is they know early on how good their stuff is or is not, and the frame of mind they're going to have to be in to get through it.
Two away as Defoe pops out to the shortstop, Corey Seager.
Tell you, when the Dodgers got Blanton in the offseason, I thought it was the move of the offseason. I mean, that's a little exaggerated, but I thought he was that good at the end of the year last year. And with the game going so much to bullpens, and particularly in the middle innings, and that guy that can go late, or he can go long, or he can go in the middle like he is today, that was the value of this guy. His slider's electric, his stuff would come back. And I just thought the experience that he's gained now the last couple of years with different clubs in the bullpen, I thought he was a great pickup.
Blanton now in his 12th season. He's pitched for 6 different Major League ball clubs. Trey Turner at the plate with 2 outs. Struck out twice and then drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning. Ball 3, says the first base umpire, Chris Cuccione.
That was almost identical to the one he threw 1-0, hoping he would get it. Because you saw him asking the umpire, was that down? He said, no, it was off. Okay, make a little bit of adjustment. Almost got him to chase it.
The 3-0 from Blanton. In for strike 1.
Well, you better not walk him, because a walk is a double with this guy. One of the fastest runners in baseball. How fast is this guy? StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services, will tell us. Watch him run out this triple here. Now he's going to turn it into gear. 2 of the 3 fastest maximum speeds on triples this year. Trey Turner owns it. Jason Worth calls him Triples Trey.
Well, they're going to double switch right here, it looks like, huh? Want to bring the lefty against Harper, and you also stop Turner from running. So that's, we could go to right.
Grant Dayton out of the Dodger pen, and there's Yasiel Puig cutting out to right field. Plate with 2 outs, bottom of the 6th inning. And the Dodgers leading the Nationals 4-3 in Game 1 of the National League Division Series. Harper will face the 28-year-old rookie left-hander Grant Dayton, who made his big league debut on July 22nd and is one of 7 rookies on the Dodgers postseason roster for this NLDS.
And he has a disappearing 4-seam fastball. He throws it a lot. It's not that hard, 93. Batter's hitting 138 against his 4-seam fastball.
What I find interesting here is, do you let Trey Turner run? And I say yeah. And if Bryce Harper's hitting and he gets a fastball, he wants to drive, I let him swing. But I go ahead and force the action. They're not going to walk Harper because he's still second in this situation. They brought this lefty in to face him.
I agree with you. I think the Dodgers like this matchup. We've talked about Bryce Harper against fastballs up. Hit 198 this year against 4-seam fastballs. You've got a pitcher out there whose best pitch is the fastball up, and a hitter whose one hole is fastball up.
Dayton facing Harper for the first time. The 1-0.
And keep it in that spot right there. That's the spot Kershaw attacked early. When he missed in, that's when Harper jumped him.
I'm back looking at this running game, and you know, you had 2 pitches now to really measure him and see what he does at first base. And if Turner runs and happens to make an out, Harper leads off next half inning.
The 1-1 from Dayton. Now 1-2.
That one leaked over the plate a little more, and you saw Bryce thought he had it. That's the area Dayton wants to go to. Tried to get back there. Watch this one leak over the plate, and watch Bryce's reaction. And there's the difference. Great low ball hitter.
Got to run now. 1-2 on your hitter, a guy you want at the plate with a good count to hit in. I'll tell you what, Davey Lopes, you see him walking in talking to Trey Turner, he is the maestro. He tells you when to go, what to look for. Remember, this guy had basically a 90% stolen base percentage when he was playing ball. He was phenomenal himself. But I played with Davey as a first base coach in Baltimore. He will tell you, go before the pitcher picks up his glove. He'll have an idea what he's doing.
Turner holds, and Harper sends this one into right center, and it's Puig. Peterson was calling for it. Puig crosses in front of him and makes the catch to end the inning. Harper fly ball, Peterson calling for it, but here comes Puig.
I'm laughing because Dave Roberts told us before the game that Yasiel Puig was going to impact this series. He almost impacted Jock Peterson into next week.
And guess who leads off for the Dodgers?
Happy to be doing so in one piece.
Against the left-hander Sammy Solis. On in relief of Max Scherzer, who went 6 innings, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits.
Now, you guys know we've done enough playoff games together. The volume in a playoff ballpark is so different than the regular season. That's a Bryce Harper fly ball. Everybody thinks it's a home run. They're all screaming. So hand signals become very important. And that's why you almost had a collision there, if you ask me. They're a little bit further apart than it looks like on TV. By the time they get close, yeah, but there's a point of no return where you got to catch that ball. And it's a lot louder. As soon as Bryce hit that ball, everybody thought it was a home run because it's a fly ball, and they're all screaming.
Peterson 0 for 2. Grandal on deck. Dodgers lead 4-3, top of the 7th inning in Game 1.
You know, towards the end of the season, Jock Peterson got to face a lot more left-handers. And I actually think he might have impacted the roster because he did quite well against lefties. This is normally a situation where you may not see him facing left-handed pitchers.
Peterson down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, these left-handed relievers, 3 of them from Washington, will get a lot of work in this series. Dodgers, absolutely horrendous against left-handed pitching.
Dodgers with a batting average of .213 against left-handers during the regular season. Here's Grandal 0 for 2 tonight.
And you see Solis, one of the rare relief pitchers, pitches out of the windup with nobody on base. He's got the stuff to get right-handers out as well. Good changeup.
He's got that fastball busting in. He's got a funky motion, tough to pick up. Little short arm sling to it. And I can see where that would be tough to pick that changeup up, Tom, because you got the arm speed is what you read as a hitter.
There it is right there.
And it's got such great whip to it that it looks like a fastball out of his hand. Nice. Back-to-back changeups.
He's going to play a big role in this series. He is not just a matchup lefty. He can get you multiple innings.
Tolles on deck, the 2-2. Dodgers took a 4-0 lead. They scored a run in the first on a Seager solo home run. 3 in the third. Justin Turner with a 2-run shot. But then the Nationals started to chip away. 2 in the third and a run in the 4th inning for Washington. Now the 2-2. Diving attempt by Rendon. Base hit into left field off the bat of Grandal. So a one-out base runner for the Dodgers as we check in with J.P. Morosi. J.P.
Thanks, Kenny. And I spoke with Sammy Solis earlier today, and he shared with me that his parents, Bob and Sally Solis, own an orphanage in Congo, South Africa, with about 60 children living there, the vast majority of whom have lost their parents to the AIDS virus. So he said he actually went there to volunteer his own time a couple years ago, said it gave him great perspective on things that matter far more than baseball.
All right, thanks, JP. Great stuff.
You know, yeah, that puts it in perspective real quick. Clayton Kershaw, very active as well. And we talked about him yesterday, with all the stuff he and his wife are doing. And it gives you a different perspective of how fortunate we are in this country. And particularly to be a Major League Baseball player, that goes to a whole nother level.
And now Harold Solis will face a pinch hitter, Howie Kendrick, batting for Andrew Tolles. So it's the right-hander Kendrick against the lefty Solis, with Grandal on at first and one out. Kendrick, the longtime Angel, now in his second season with the Dodgers. First pitch, slow roller to the right side. Kendrick retired as Grandal moves to second.
You know, it's interesting talking to Daniel Murphy, and we were talking about his days in New York with some defensive miscues that he had, and you know, the perspective right there of a lot of guys don't want to talk about when you make bad plays. He's not afraid to face it head on, and he was talking about Familia right now and how he kind of got a bad rap in the postseason. He said, you look back, I caused 2 major errors for that guy that put him in bad situations. And I think that kind of experience, when you have that happen, then it gives you a different perspective. You saw him smother that ball right there. He made a nice play earlier, a couple plays, but he's really, to me, making sure, if anything, I'm knocking the ball down.
And now with Puig at the plate, he will be intentionally walked. Yasiel Puig, who was sent down to AAA Oklahoma City August 2nd, played in 19 games, recalled by the Dodgers on September 2nd. So Puig to first. And now Chase Utley, who is 1 for 3, struck out twice, singled in a run back in the 3rd inning.
Well, Tom, you were talking about how the Dodgers have struggled against left-handers. This is one of the things you do. You force their lefties to have to hit against guys that are specialists out of the bullpen, matchup guys, or a guy like Solis with overpowering stuff.
Yeah, Utley is hitting just 154 against left-handed pitching. It's the matchup Dusty Baker wants.
Missing away with the first pitch. Ball 1 to Chase Utley. Four 3 Dodgers, top of the 7th inning. 2 outs. One and one.
Well, this is the guy you want to get, because you don't want to get to Seager. You want to go after Utley. Howie Kendrick at bat was where the Dodgers were hoping they would cash in. And they got the number for the force out.
A 1-1 from Solis. 2 balls, 1 strike.
As you saw right there, his changeup's so good, not afraid to throw it to lefties as well.
Grandal, the runner on second. Puig takes his lead off first. The 2-1 to Utley. Ground ball to the second baseman. Murphy had some trouble getting it out of his glove, but Utley is retired. So the Dodgers strand 2 in the 7th, maintain a 4-3 lead on the Washington Nationals in Game 1 of the National League Division Series here at Nationals Park. Game 2, 4 Eastern tomorrow. We'll have it for you right here on FS1. 7th inning stretch time, and that means God Bless America with the U.S. Army Chorus Quartet.
Great country with a performance of God Bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. Army Chorus Quartet.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw 1-2 in all of baseball in wins and strikeouts since 2010. Kershaw went 5, Scherzer 6 innings. Dodgers with a 4-3 lead. Bottom of the 7th, Jason Worth leads off against Grant Dayton, who faced one batter in the 6th and retired Bryce Harper. Howie Kendrick remains in the game in left field for the Dodgers.
Well, this is when it gets interesting. Now moving forward in the rest of the game, how they're going to end it out, how you going to be able to shut it down, what moves will they make to score runs or prevent runs.
We saw Dayton start Worth 2 breaking balls. We talked about what a good fastball hitter is. The mystery of his four-seam fastball will be tested severely these next 2 hitters. Worth and Daniel Murphy, the 2 best fastball hitters on his Nationals team. And Worth saying right there, that fastball's up.
Well, he saw it and recognized it early. So he was looking for that fastball. Watch how quick he gives up on this pitch.
Yeah, that ball's up, but it was a nice job by Grandal getting his glove on top of the pitch and framing it down.
A 1-2 from Dayton. Grant Dayton, 28 years of age, out of Auburn University, made his major league debut this season after a long minor league career. Daniel Murphy waiting on deck. Then Anthony Rendon.
This guy was cut, DFA'd by the Marlins a year and a half ago. Major league hitters pound fastballs, but they don't hit his fastball. So he's staying up with that fastball. What the Dodgers do, they put a lot of emphasis on spin rate. And his four-seam fastball has a higher than average spin rate. What does that mean? That means the ball doesn't sink as much as the hitter expects it to sink, so it plays better up in the zone. Like that.
So Dayton wins the battle as Worth strikes out. 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Our game summary brought to you by Bud Light. Corey Seager, the youngest Dodger with a postseason home run on the first pitch he saw in the 1st inning. Justin Turner took Max Scherzer deep. 2 runs batted in for Rendon. And the matchup of Kershaw and Scherzer in Game 1 of the NLDS.
Boy, has the long ball played big in the postseason so far. American League showed it a lot the other day.
Connor Gillespie sending the Giants into the Division Series matchup with the Cubs. 3-run shot off Garris Familia in the National League wild card game.
Yeah, and I was thinking about Murphy right there. You could hear him go, woo! And that ball up and in. You don't see that pitch very often anymore. They don't pitch up and in a whole lot, at least not with purpose. That was a miss, obviously. And I think that's why the home runs have been so prevalent this season and really for a while. Not a lot of guys get knocked down. I mean, when you see 2 and 3 home runs in games back to back to back, and we've seen it a lot,
right?
More frequent than any.
Indians with 3 and a 4-batter stretch in Game 1 of their series last night.
Toronto bombing balls out of Texas the last 2 nights.
Nationals set a franchise record with 203 home runs during the regular season. 6 Nationals hit at least 20.
The
Pedro
inside
Baez,
pitch.
Dodger pen.
Yeah, you see Baez getting ready. That inside pitch, that knockdown pitch, I'm not saying throw at somebody's head. I'm saying you got to knock guys off the plate, because now that sets up that outside pitch that you can get to. But if not, guys are going to live looking on the outside. You're going to lose. You being the pitcher, you're going to continue to let guys look out over the plate.
Saw Grandal asking for that fastball up. I'm telling you, if Grant Dayton gets this guy to swing and miss at his fastball, well, you got to call it Mythbusters, because the mystery is confirmed. And there he goes. Let's see if he can get a swing and miss.
Swinging a foul ball.
It's down. You got it up. If it's down, it's trouble.
486 fastballs in the zone to Daniel Murphy this year. Only 10 times as he swung and missed. Just crazy hand-eye coordination. Strength against strength right here.
Payoff pitch from Dayton. Murphy takes ball 4. A 1-out base runner for the Nationals here in the 7th.
That also tells me, Tom, that Murphy's a guy who hits off the fastball. And what I mean by that, he's looking fastball and adjust. We often hear a guy was sitting on a certain off-speed pitch, or guys are looking off-speed and then I could adjust to the fastball. I don't buy that as much. I think it's really hard to go look slow and then speed up to 97, 94.
Another double switch. Charlie Culberson out of the Dodgers dugout, and Pedro Baez out of the Dodgers pen. News, Giants Cubs, Game 1 at Wrigley. Tomorrow, Game 2 here, 4 Eastern, FS1. Pregame at 3:30, and then Giants Cubs Game 2 tomorrow night on MLB Network. Well, Dave Roberts, managing in his first postseason game, makes his second double switch in 7 innings as Anthony Rendon steps to the plate for the Nationals. There is the new second baseman, Charlie Culberson, who will bat in the 5th spot of the order.
Well, you don't make, what, 606
pitching changes? I love National League Baseball, man. This is a manager's game. The difference between the leagues, the difference between checkers and chess.
So Utley out. There's Pedro Baez, the 28-year-old right-hander. 73 appearances during the regular season. To face Anthony Rendon with the runner on first, Daniel Murphy, and 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Fastballs up, sliders away. That's the scouting report on Rendon. But once again, very patient at the plate. Very low chase rate.
Well, this is an interesting scenario, because you have Murphy on with that injury he's had where you really can't run like he used to. He's only got 5 steals this year, but Baez has such a high leg kick. It's just inviting you to steal the bag or get something going. And I know Dusty Baker would love to play that game right now. He's not going to hit and run with Rendon. You want to take that bat out of his hand, but you could force action. But I don't think it's going to happen because Murphy's not able to run right now.
There goes Murphy. Throw down to second is in time.
He didn't have a big lead. Looking at him, he didn't have a big enough lead to run right there. I think they got enticed with the high leg kick, and Maybe Murphy's feeling a little bit better, but if you're going to run, you got to get a good lead. He doesn't have a good lead at all. He lost this stolen base on his lead.
Culberson applied the tag. Now 2 away.
It's a heck of a pick and tag by Culberson,
who just came into the game during the double switch.
Well, I really like Charlie can play, man. He can play short, he can play second. You saw the pick right there. Plays in the outfield. It's a gutsy move. That was almost like a pitch out because he got the high fastball, but Murphy had to get a bigger lead. He didn't have the lead. You got to get a lead to run. He didn't have the lead to steal that bag.
Well, he talked about Dusty loves to play an aggressive game. Just blew up on him right there. Potential tying run thrown out for the second out.
And now the 1-2 to Rendon. Fouls it off to the right side.
Well, let's go back and look at this pick. He gets himself in right position. It's the short hop and slaps the tag on him. That ball's a bad throw. He picks it and turns it into an out. But it's the 7th inning, you know, Tom. I like the pushing gamble. I think if Murphy gets the lead he should have got, he's safe. And that changes everything. So I like the gamble. If he's healthy, then you run him. I guess he's telling us he's healthy.
Looking for the lucky spot in the dugout. He moved down to the other end.
And he changed jackets.
Rendon pops it up. Seager behind the mound makes the play to end the inning. Murphy caught stealing. 4-3 Dodgers. We head to the 8th. Dodgers rookie Corey Seager. First inning, first pitch took Max Scherzer deep. 6th pitch of the game gave the Dodgers a 1-0 lead. 22 years of age. What a season. Finished 7th in the National League with a batting average of .308. Set a Dodgers franchise record for home runs by a shortstop. Not just a rookie shortstop, any shortstop in franchise history. There's Clayton Kershaw, Dodgers starting pitcher tonight.
You know, you would think that a guy like this is going to be 1-1 or 1-2 in the draft, right? You know, the Dodgers were able to get him. Logan White, back who was the farm director at the time, really had to fight to pick Corey Seager when they got him with the pick because they didn't think he was going to be able to stay at shortstop. And I know that people still say that. I think he's going to continue to stay. And I think Cal Ripken really paved the way. This is the closest guy to Cal I've seen physically. I mean, you stand next to this kid. He's a monster. I mean, it's one thing to be 6'4", but he's wide. He is a load. He's a big man.
Yeah, I don't see him moving off the position. 6'5". One of many shortstops of this era grew up idolizing Derek Jeter. And a couple of years ago at the All-Star game in Minnesota, his brother Kyle, of course, third baseman for Seattle, was at the All-Star game. Corey went there to watch his brother play. After the game, outside the clubhouse, who comes out but Derek Jeter? You know what Corey did? He was too nervous, didn't even say hello.
Murphy, 1 out.
Well, when we're talking about the shortstop, Corey Seager, you got to bring up Trey Turner with the year he's had because this is going to be the conversation on Rookie of the Year. Now, look, Corey Seager's going to win it.
Unanimously.
Unanimously. He may, you know, who knows? Trey may get some votes from somebody out of Washington, but he's had a phenomenal half a season he's put together. And this kid is going to end up being a shortstop someday in the big leagues. They moved him to the big leagues now to play center. And it was a real simple conversation Mike Rizzo had with him. He said, look, you can play shortstop in AAA. All you want, we'll leave you there. Or you can come to the big leagues and play center right now. And Sent Gary Thurman down to work with him. He worked about a week, and they said, all right, he's ready to play games. And before you know it, he's up in the big leagues, and he's had an impact on this team. And I really think because of him getting called up, Tom, you can finish this off. But I think that's why the Nationals are here.
No doubt about it. Changed the dynamic of this team offensively.
Justin Turner, deep left center. On the run, making the catch is Jason Worth for out number 2.
What a great play. He went a long ways to go get that ball, considering where he started. It doesn't look like he's going a long ways because he's so lanky and there's long, gaping stride, but he's not even in your picture yet. This ball's a gapper. He's made the adjustment to left field. Remember, this guy's been one of the premier right fielders for a number of years in the big leagues and had to go ahead and make that turn.
And how about the gentlemanly response from Justin Turner? And then Jason Worth tipped his cap back.
Nothing on one on Gonzalez, who is 0 for 3 at the plate tonight.
I never did that. I was too mad. You gotta make a play on me like that. I'm a chap. I tip my cap at you.
Well, it depends whether you have the lead or not.
True.
You're down 4-3. I don't think you're tipping your helmet.
That's true.
And Turner, a big reason why the Dodgers have the lead as Gonzalez grounds out to end the inning. Middle of the 8th in Washington. A tip of the cap from Justin Turner saluting Jason Worth. Lead game 1 of the National League Division Series 4-3. There's Kenley Jansen, 47 saves during the regular season up in the Dodgers pen. Pedro Baez, the 4th Dodgers pitcher tonight. And Ryan Zimmerman takes ball 1, leading off for the Nationals. He had 2 hits earlier against Clayton Kershaw.
It's really interesting seeing the closer up. 6 outs to go. Kenley Jansen got 4 outs 5 times this year. 5 outs just once. Dave Roberts not afraid to manage aggressively with his closer.
Zimmerman sends this one into left. And the catch is made by Kendrick for out number 1. Dave Roberts telling us before the game, we've done some unorthodox things throughout the course of this season.
Well, he started the year managing conventionally, managed by formula, have a 7th inning guy, an 8th inning guy, a 9th inning guy. But he's done a great job being unconventional, working with the best possible matchup. And he said, I couldn't have done it unless all of my relievers checked their ego and allowed me to use them in any circumstance.
When he started to go out, he wanted to make sure that the Nationals announced their pinch hitter,
Stephen Drew. And now Roberts to the mound. Here comes Kenley Jansen. Giants and Cubs coming up next from Wrigley. We'll be here tomorrow, game 2, Dodgers and Nationals, and then Giants and Cubs tomorrow night, game 2 on MLB Network. So Dave Roberts goes to his closer. There's Pedro Baez, who worked 1 scoreless inning out of the pen. With 1 out in the 8th, Kenley Jansen, what do you think?
Lock it down, man. If that was Mariano Rivera, would Joe Torre gone to him? Absolutely. You got to win game 1.
Stephen Drew pinch hitting. Popped up, foul territory. And the catch is made by Turner. Has some words for the Nationals fan of the front row. Now 2 away.
Look, here's my thought behind it. The Dodgers came here with the thought of, if we can split, you're not guaranteed you're going to be ahead tomorrow. So you've got a 4-3 lead. You got the best guy you have. I don't have a problem with it. I go get it. And next inning, he's got top of the order.
Yeah, listen, I can't fault any manager who wants to be aggressive using the bullpen in a 1-run postseason game. Personally, I would have waited another batter. I didn't have a problem with Baez on Drew. It didn't really scare me. I mentioned that Jansen's only got 5 outs this year once. So you're stretching him a little bit here.
And that was back on April 13th against Arizona. There's another pinch hitter, Clint Robinson, former Dodger, 9 games with the Dodgers back in the 2014 season, batting for Severino.
And that told me that Dave Roberts wasn't sure that Baez could keep Drew in the park. And he is prone to the home run ball at times. Well, you mentioned Mariano, Harold, and you could see the action on that cutter. Almost all cutters, Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, that's where the comparison came from. Clearly, he's not Mariano yet. You know, the comparisons of the natural cutter.
Chris Heisey in the on-deck circle. Should Robinson reach? 2-1.
What's amazing about Kenley, talking with him, is this cutter is natural. Same thing with Mariano. Nobody taught him that. It was just one day he threw the baseball and it started to cut that way. And Mel Stoudemire was able to get Mo to really have control of it. And the same thing happened here with Kenley, which is very rare. I wish I had a little cutter like that.
Jansen, a former catcher.
Yes. Curacao.
2-2 on Robinson, pinch hitting with 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning of the Nationals trailing by a run. Jansen made the conversion from behind the plate to the mound in 2009, only 7 years ago.
Well, think about it, too. The man he replaced, Baez, converted third baseman.
Right.
Think about this Dodger bullpen. You have 2 converted infielders. You have Joe Blanton, a low-level free agent signed in January. A couple of low-level under-the-radar trades.
Fair ball. Robinson heading for second. And he is in. With a 2-out pinch hit double. And the Nationals have a runner in scoring position, trailing by a run.
Do you know how rare that is to hit that double that way? This ball's cutting in on him. And to be able to shoot it down the left field line. That ball looked from that angle like it was out over the plate a little bit more. But remember, this is a cutter. A nice job.
He almost hit it out of the catcher's glove. You saw the way they defended Robinson. No way you're expecting him to hit the ball to that side of the field on the ground.
Michael A. Taylor running for Robinson. And another pinch hitter, Chris Heisey, one of the best in baseball. Rick Honeycutt out to the mound. So the Nationals will use a 3rd consecutive pinch hitter. Both the Nationals and Dodgers with 14 position players on their roster for the NLDS. That's 6 extras, both carrying 11 pitchers.
Well, plus you have versatility. I mean, you look at Trey Turner can play shortstop if you need to. Howie Kendrick can come in. He can play third. He can play second base. So you have those versatile athletes. Culberson we talked about. He can play short. He can play second. He plays the outfield. So that allows you a lot more flexibility off your benches as well when you have guys that can play multiple positions.
And Chris Heisey, like a lot of real good veteran pinch hitters, you see the numbers right there. He'll jump a fastball early.
Heisey, like Clint Robinson, who just doubled, is a former Dodger. Heisey, 33 games for the Dodgers last year. As you saw, 14 career pinch hit home runs in the regular season, first among active players. Taylor, the pinch runner, takes his leadoff second with 2 outs.
Well, I think both managers have got what they want. You know, he wanted Kenley Jansen in this situation. Dusty Baker wants Heisey with a chance to tie a game or put you ahead. This is the situation he wanted to get his guy to hit in.
Heisey 1 for 3 lifetime against the Dodgers closer. 1-1.
And looking at the outfield arms for the Dodgers, Yasiel Puig, the best arm out there, playing shallow in right field. Jock Peterson, you can see him playing deep in center field. Almost no shot of getting Michael Taylor on a base hit.
The 1-1 from Jansen. Missing inside, ball 2.
Now he can manipulate the cutter where it cuts a little bit bigger and it will look like a slider, or he can make it real tight spin like that one right there that stays in on the hands of the right-hander.
The 2-1 from Jansen.
Seeing the ball pretty good right there. That was a pretty good pitch to lay off.
Yeah, you can see that Grandal's wanted fastballs, cutters up.
Nationals trail by a run. Taylor takes his lead off second. Heisey pitch hitting, the 3-1 from Jansen, full count.
That's the spot right there. Yeah, that's unhittable. Over the hands with late cut to it.
Well, he got a 3-1 pitch. He knew what he's looking for. The ball's high. It's not a good pitch to hit. But he knew exactly what was coming. Again, 3-1. He took a little bit of a gamble. Nice pitch by Jansen.
Payoff pitch from Jansen. Call strike 3. Heisey down on strikes to end the inning. And we move to the 9th in Washington.
Changing the eye level right there. Went up high and then came back down low to get the strike.
Charlie Culberson leads off for the Dodgers. New battery, Mark Melanson and Jose Lobaton. For the Nationals, it was Culberson who hit the walk-off home run to clinch the National League West. Vin Scully's final call of a home game at Dodger Stadium. Culberson asked Vin Scully to sign the bat for him a couple of days later, which he did.
That's something he'll never forget. Pretty impressive moment.
Here's the 0-1 from Melanson. Check this out. Culberson's grandfather, Leon, played for the Washington Senators, 1948. Vin Scully
games?
worked here in Washington at WTOP Radio the next year in 49.
His first job out of Fordham.
Saw Drew now at shortstop for the Nationals. Here's the 1-1 to Culberson. And it gets even better, guys. His grandfather was a Red Sox. 1946 World Series. He fielded the ball on the play which led to Enos Slaughter's mad dash. Slaughter scoring the winning run in Game 7 of the 46 World Series. Leon Culberson fielded that ball. And now his grandson Charlie, 1 week shy of 70 years later, a postseason at bat here in Washington. A 1-2. In for a called strike 3. 1 away. As we head to Los Angeles for a game break, Kevin Burkhardt. All right, Kevin, we look forward to it. 1 out, top of the 9th inning. Cueto and Lester at Wrigley, Game 1.
Now, if you tell me Lester's great-grandfather or somebody was there when the Cubs last won, we got to stop this broadcast.
That's it. You're out of luck.
Okay. Tell you what, I like the move to get Melanson. That was solidified a lot of things here in Washington.
Coming over from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He's throwing a few more breaking balls than I'm used to seeing him. He's a guy usually, here's my fastball, dare you to get it, and it's made him a little more difficult to hit, obviously. You can throw breaking balls for strikes now.
Yeah, like Jansen, too. He's got a great cutter. There it is.
By the way, with Lobaton behind the plate after Severino was pinch hit for in the last half inning, the Nationals are out of position players. They have used all 6.
I told you it was a chess match. Baker against Roberts, Spassky against Fisher. What happens if they tie the game and Lobaton has to leave with an injury? Who catches?
Bryce Harper catches. He's the #1 draft pick as a catcher. He can get back there. But Dusty used that at bat for the Robinson double that set up the potential chance to tie this game. So that's why he had to go ahead and hit for the young catcher in that situation.
He used 3 pinch hitters and a pinch runner in the bottom of the 8th. Had already used Defoe, and now the catcher Lobaton enters the game. The 2-2 from Melanson to John Peterson. Call strike 3, 2 away.
Well, this is Vince's Melanson. He pinpoints pitches as good as anybody in the big leagues. He's not going to light up the radar gun like crazy that we've seen, but he is so on point with his pitches. Might have got a little generous call right there. But he can live on the corners with the best of them.
Yeah, you're going to see cutters almost 2/3 of the time with Mark Melanson against the righties and lefties, both sides of the plate.
Grandal 1 for 3. And on the first pitch from Melanson against the shift, a single into right field. Second hit of the game for Grandal.
Kept him in the ballpark, though, and that's the key with Grandal from the left side. He can launch some balls. So that, in a sense, you go, all right, we kept him in the park. Now I got to go get Kendrick. Beautiful swing by Grandal. He had a nice night.
So now Howard Kendrick rounded out to second in his only at bat in the 7th inning. Looking ahead, Nationals will have the top of the order due up against Kenley Jansen, who's chatting with pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. Turner, Harper, Worth. In the bottom of the 9th for Washington.
And keep this in mind, with Turner leading off and as slow as Jansen is to the plate, Davey Lopes, the first base coach, said the other day that if that matchup happens with Turner on first base, if he's not on third after 2 pitches, he's going to go out there and shake him. It's almost an automatic bag with Jansen on the mound.
Davey might steal the bases himself.
Probably could still run.
Well, I call him the original 40-40 man. He stole more than 40 bases when he was 40 years old. How about that for 40-40?
Guess how many bases the Dodgers stole this season as a team? 45. Wow. Now the 2-0 to Kendrick.
And that's why it's important for the Dodgers to pick up another run, because then that negates Turner from possibly running. If you're down 1, yeah, we're going to go for that. If you're down 2 or maybe 3, now you got to let those bats swing to give you a chance to get back in it. So this is a big run if they can drive somebody in. I thought that ball was in the corner when it left the bat.
The 2-1. 2-2. Two to Kendrick. Moving to his right is Murphy. Diving attempt. On his way to third is Grandal, and he is in to second. Kendrick. So the Dodgers with runners on second and third with 2 outs.
Such an enticing play, because if he goes to second base, you keep Kendrick at first. But he knows if he makes a good throw, he's got a chance to get Grandal. That ball just didn't come out of his hands properly.
Watch the footwork of Turner. This is shortstop playing the outfield. Doesn't get himself turned around well enough. And you see this throw sailed on him. I think you're right, Harold. I think if he makes a good throw, he's got to play here at third base.
And I think that's the difficult challenge on that play. You probably see a lot of center fielders spin on this ball. He thought about it, and then he changed his body the other way. Last thing you want to do is spin and have that ball go by you. and it ends up costing you a run. Nice base running by Kendrick, giving it an effort. A lot of guys don't give that effort out of the bag, so you're not in position out from the plate after the swing. You're not in a position to go to second because you haven't hustled out of the box.
And now you have to walk Puig here. You don't have to, but they will, which leads to a counter move from Dave Roberts with another pinch hitter.
So Puig will be intentionally walked for the second time tonight. Andre Ethier has come out into the on-deck circle.
That's why I like guys that throw 4 balls. I don't like this whole conversation we've been having in Major League Baseball about just put them on first base to speed the game up. No, I've seen too many guys chuck balls away. Plus, this takes a pitcher out of his rhythm. Now all of a sudden Melancon's got to get back in the groove. This is not a natural throw. I think there's a lot of things that come out of this that force this play has to stay in the game.
By the way, we saw Ethier come out, but now
that was
Jansen.
That was a fake move.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts had somebody throwing in the bullpen. He had Ethier in the on-deck circle, and all along he was in the back of his mind saying, I'm not taking my closer out of the game.
Jansen hitting in the 1 spot. This will be his 4th career at bat, 1 for 3.
Remember, he's a former catcher.
That's right. This is not an automatic out.
It's been a long time since he's hit, but
so it's Jansen with the bases loaded. Remember, Scherzer came to the plate with the bases loaded back in the 2nd inning. Closer against closer, strike 1.
And this again is the difference in the leagues. You know, I love the strategy of the National League, and this is the out. People that compare the same leagues together with stats and all, it's not the same. You got ways to get out and through innings as a pitcher in the National League. You can navigate.
The 0-1 from Melanson, 0-2.
Right now, you're just saying, Canley, don't follow through too strong with that right arm and get hurt.
You're taking some pretty good hacks.
Teammates laughing about it.
In there, yeah.
Bases full of Dodgers, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. The 0-2 to Jansen. That's a piece of it. Jansen's 1 base hit back in the 2010 season. His rookie year with the Dodgers.
Yeah. I was wondering where he got the bat from. Number 77. I don't know whether that was like the spring training bin or what. I don't think they packed the closer's bat for this trip.
The number 77 bat strikes out. Jansen will head to the mound for the bottom of the 9th to face Turner, Harper, Worth in a 1-run game. Sponsored by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. Great catch made by Jason Worth back in the 8th inning to rob Justin Turner. Tip of the cap from both.
I like the sportsmanship. Awful nice. All right, here we go. This is going to be fun.
Bottom of the 9th.
Great matchups. A lot of things that can happen here.
Trey Turner facing Kenley Jansen for the first time. Jansen looking for the 5-out save. For those of you tuning in for Game 1 of the Giants and Cubs, please turn to MLB Network for the start of that game. Also available streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We will get you out to Chicago at the immediate conclusion of the Dodgers and the Nationals. Turner drove in a run with a sacrifice fly back in the 4th inning. That was the last run scored in this game.
The Dodgers will face Turner's speed. It's the cutter here, the call. And Harper's power. Harper 3 for 7 with a home run off Kenley Jansen.
The 0-2 from Jansen, and Turner strikes out for the 3rd time tonight, 1 away.
Masterful job. Went down with the cutter, and then he goes up high to take him out of that bat right there. 0-2. Just blacked him out. 3 pitches, and then look at how high the catcher set up, and he kept it up there, and it just, you can see the cut at the end of that ball right there. Up and away, tough pitch to hit.
And I would assume Grandal will have the same position, not getting into a full squat, but high target away from Bryce Harper. Jansen has to be careful he does not lose that cutter on the inside half of the plate. That's the nitro zone for Bryce Harper.
Strike 1.
He got that strike on Heisey, and then he got it last time on Turner. The ball's holding the plane on that cutter right there. Nice. Down low on the hitters.
Harper took Jansen deep back in the 2015 season. As Tom mentioned, 3 for 7 lifetime against the Dodgers closer. Fouls it off down the left field line, 0-2.
Unlike the 2 starters in the game today, who weren't quite as sharp as what we're used to seeing, Jansen's sharp.
Harold, that cutter was a bullseye right there. It's exactly where you want to pitch Bryce Harper.
The Dodgers starter, Clayton Kershaw. Again, we'll get you to Chicago following the end of this one. Dodgers with a 4-3 lead. Bottom of the 9th in Washington. Game 2, 4 Eastern tomorrow. The 0-2 from Jansen. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, it was interesting watching the defense of the Dodgers. As soon as he got 0-2, they moved further into a shift. It's almost like you're telling the hitter, we're going to pitch you inside.
Well, you see how deep the outfield's playing. There's playing so deep, no doubles, that Harper could get a hustle double on a single.
The 1-2 to Bryce Harper, another foul off to the left side.
Every pitch in the same spot. The target in the same spot. And I don't think it will change. No need to get cute.
Well, and if you're going to have a power hitter beat you, it should be the opposite way. Then he earned it. Other than that, it's your mistake to come inside and somebody beats you with the ball in late in the game. Late in the game, a little different than earlier.
Same spot.
Two away as Harper lines out to the second baseman, Culberson.
Well, this is how you get a hitter out, a great hitter out one way. Watch the target of Grandal. Every single pitch, same spot, cutters above the belt, away. It's the game plan for the Dodgers, and you see Bryce try to pull that. Even after all those pitches away, he's going to have to change the approach because the Dodgers are not going to change theirs until he changes his and starts taking that ball the other way.
So Jansen wins the battle. Here's Jason Worth, 0 for 6 lifetime against Kenley Jansen. Great job by our entire crew. Producer Aaron Stoikoff, director Matt Gangle, technical producer Tom Lynch, technical director Zach Jensen, associate director Gilbert Zepeda, broadcast associate Sam Younger. Ben Boma crunching the numbers along with Mark Seguro and Aaron Charlton. First pitch to Jason Worth. Ball 1. Nationals down to their final out in Game 1. Washington just 1-4 here at home in their postseason history since moving from Montreal.
And the other thing I like about Dave Roberts going early to Kenley Jansen, it almost gave him an inning to get warmed up, to get back in that groove again before he had the big boys coming up here in the ninth. And he's been dead on this half inning.
A 1-1 from Jansen. And now the Nationals down to their final strike. Cubs Giants coming up. Catch it on MLB Network or Fox Sports Go. We will get you there immediately following the conclusion of this one. Rich Hill, Tanner Roark. The scheduled starters, Game 2 tomorrow. A 1-2 from Jansen. And Worth got a piece of it.
And the pitch before, too, he missed a pitch that he might have been able to handle. A little bit tougher with 2 strikes to hit this. And maybe there's a reason behind it. Watch his delivery there.
He's got one of the longest strides in baseball. Sometimes it looks like he's handing the ball to the catcher, not throwing it to him, and lost some traction right there.
If you're Dusty Baker, you want to get Murphy to the plate. Been your best hitter all season.
A 1-2 from Jansen. Another foul off to the right side. Dodgers took a 4-0 lead in the 3rd inning. Nationals cut it to 1 in the 4th.
Quick pitch to him right there.
He did. What a battle, too.
Kenley Jansen's been raising the ball in the glove above the head a little bit right there. Watch him as he brings his hands together. He's just going to go, not going to raise his hands.
I really think Johnny Cueto's brought that vogue. You'll see a lot of that here in the next game coming up,
which is underway.
Yes.
Swing and a miss. Worth strikes out. And the Dodgers take Game 1 here in Washington. A 5-out save for Kenley Jansen. Dodgers win Game 1 4-3.
Tell you, it came down to the bullpen. I mean, the Dodgers bullpen, it's been talked about. They'd be there. Kershaw gave you a warrior battle, but the bullpen brought it home.
Yeah, I thought this was the one game where they'd get length from their starter. They didn't, and it was still a bullpen game.
So for Harold Reynolds, Tom Verducci, and J.P. Morosi, Kenny Albert saying so long from Washington. Dodgers take Game 1 of the National League Division Series. Now to Chicago, Game 1 of the other NLDS. Cubs and the Giants. Matt Veskursen, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal, take it away.